Welcome, one and all. You're watching Saturday Night One-Shots on Gehenna Gaming. I am your storyteller, Zachary Vaudo, and this is Vampire 2099, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 one-shot. Before we go any further, let's introduce our vampires, starting with D.
Good afternoon. My name is Dee, and for the evening I will be playing Dr. Kynan. You can see me in many places, but most prominently on the Critical Misses channel for Under the Pale Cold Sun, which is our Vampire the Masquerade game. You can find me on Twitter at It's the Riddler.
Next we have Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. I'll be playing the Nosferatu Haze. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and most everywhere else as a Redhead Vixen.
Moving forward to Elise.
Hey, I'm Elise Hawes. I'm the Community Marketing Director for By Night Studios. And, I'm going to be playing Jones the Dolphin. Full title, Jones the Dolphin. My pronouns and Jones's pronouns are they, them. You can find me on all social media at Elise Hawes. Yee.
And rounding out with Ellie.
Hi everyone, I am Ellie Collins, the storyteller for ATL by Night. I'll be playing Riot Levain, the Toreador, and you can find me at ATL by Night or Ellie_A_Collins on Twitter.
As a word of caution, this is a World of Darkness scenario. That means that themes and situations in the game may get a little bit dark, a little bit mature, a bit uncomfortable. Our players have signed off on consent forms indicating their levels of comfort and pre-established restrictions. If what you see or hear becomes too intense, feel free to take a break. Come back later if you want. This is for your entertainment, dark as it may be, and we'll be here when you're ready. Saturday Night One-Shots are meant to be informative as well as entertaining. Tonight's installment is meant to demonstrate the versatility of V5, integrating existing lore and mechanics with a flexible future and homebrew content. You'll hear some mechanical elements to the game that are creations specifically for this scenario. We hope that you enjoy them and are maybe even inspired to create within your own games. It is your world and you can build with it as you will. We'll be using hunger mechanics per V5. The players will be instituting red dice to represent their hunger. The hunger will go up as the dice allow. They'll continue to roll a group of D10s that are based on their stats, and they'll see how they do as they go through. Finally, tonight's stream is raising funds for Lost and Found Youth, a homeless youth fund project aiming to end homelessness for LGBTQIA youth, providing food, shelter, and life stabilization services to create a world where all youth can live and grow authentically. We encourage you to donate what you can. Links will be in the sidebar. Remember, just because this is a world of darkness doesn't mean that we can't bring some light into the real world. Now, let's say that we set the sun and tell a vampire story. 2099, a future just out of reach. The Second Inquisition has been spread thin by over-budgeting and draining resources, allowing for kindred society to thrive once again. Society at large has boomed due to advancements in technology made possible both by the Inquisition and kindred society's innovations. Many kindred have found ways to profit and gain from their various specialized traits to the benefit of many and chagrin of those wishing to either preserve the masquerade or their various clans' unique abilities. In spite of this, though, the eternal struggle remains just that, eternal, never-ending, equally draining of resources. Tonight, however, plans are in motion. A summons has been issued to a group of select kindred from across the globe, with the destination of Yaros, a small island off the coast of Greece in the Aegean Sea, a nation unto itself in kindred society, as it has been for almost 150 years, Elysium to the world. And this is where we find our subjects for the evening, on a mid-sized boat, bound for Yaros, cutting through the Aegean Sea in the dead of night. Large enough for you all to have had your own personal space on board, should you choose to have it, but small enough to keep you all in the same area within eye line of each other. You boarded quickly from the coastal town of Laurium after arriving in Greece from your various cities, and before you know it, you're already nearly there. Let's move around the deck of the boat and see what you've been up to, who you are, what you think of all of this. There's a Nosferatu over in the corner, checking her supplies. Hayes, tell us a bit about yourself and what you make of all of this.
Hayes is off on her own, very self-contained, just going through the things she's brought with her over and over again. like a checklist in her head to make sure she's prepped for whatever's to happen. She's looked around at all of you and not exactly dismissed you, but doesn't seem entirely interested in anyone else here.
Very focused on the mission, very kept to herself, very not interested in the people around her. How exactly does that sit with our very famous Toreador, Riot?
Riot has really no opinion of everybody else. She's sitting kind of off to the side with her neon kit, just bending and flexing the wires into new shapes, attempting a bit of a Nosferatu face, either to win Hayes's approval or piss her off. She doesn't really care which one.
Hayes?
Hayes is just kind of watching. This is a person who doesn't jump to conclusions.
Good to keep it stable. Now, Riot's not the only Toreador on board, though the other one is a bit easier to miss, comparatively speaking, in terms of the physical art. Dr. Kynan, how are you feeling, and what are you making of what's going on before you?
The good doctor is a sort of thin black man with heavy dreads, usually wearing a shawl, and almost always has a cup of coffee, even though the taste is terrible. Frankly, he's mostly uninterested. I've been spending most of my time delineating prescriptions to my patients.
Everybody absorbed in their own activities, trying not to focus on things around them. It's very Kindred, very Camarilla, I have to say. Now, there's 4 of you, but are all 4 of you on the boat, Jones?
No. In fact, Jones the dolphin is in the ocean and has been for a long time because Kindred do not get tired. And Jones also has celerity and can keep up with the boat. So just imagine a really fast dolphin swimming next to this boat for like a concerning amount of time. And Jones is having a blast. Like, it's good. It feels good to swim. I'm having a swim. Jones is looking at the funky fish in the ocean. It feels good. The nice cool air when I come up to surface every now and then. It's a good time. Jones is having a blast.
And in spite of everybody's attempts to stay focused on their own activities, it's hard to ignore when a dolphin just comes up roughly deck level before dropping back in the entire way there.
I make cool dolphin noises every now and then.
Now, as you all arrive to the shore of Yaros, Jones breaching the waves to the beach itself, I imagine, you are escorted by various individuals, all of whom seem very aware of who you are and why you've come. The entire island's population that you encounter along the way seems welcoming and abiding as you make your way to a large red brick compound on the island's coast. Through the labyrinthine building, you are led until you are presented to a stern, severe-looking woman. Age indeterminate, but with a presence of power and experience that you've hardly known in your time. One of the servants gestures towards her and speaks. Riot Levain, Dr. Kynan, Hayes, Jones, Prince Anushin Rawan. Prince Anushin Rawan begins to speak a mix of Greek and Arabic as the servant fumbles with a box posted up on a nearby table. It hums on, and a small choker around the prince's neck glows. A voice from the box overshadows her in a more comprehensible language for you all. Thank you all for coming. At such short notice and lack of information, I do hope that your trip was to your liking.
Wasn't half bad.
It was fun.
Now, you've all been called due to a variety of reasons. Your international acclaim in its various forms, some are more public than others. Your various skill sets, and your allegiance to the Camarilla, which we are, all of us, eternally grateful for. I imagine it's no secret that things have been going rather well for all of us. You've all done very well for yourselves without too much need to hide any more than normal. Unfortunately, we're at a bit of a precipice, a bit of a potential tipping point. You see, the problem with society, kindred society, growing as strong as it has is at some point it grows to a critical mass. Back 100 years ago, it was the Sabbat growing in numbers to a critical mass, and now it's all of us growing in visibility to a critical mass. And with that comes those that wish to pop the balloon, I'm afraid. There's an Anarch cell named the Cimmerians. They've gotten their hands on what we believe to be a Black Ice AI, and they are attempting to potentially stoke a third Inquisition. The AI is capable of revealing masks and locations of many prominent kindred around the world in their various places in society. If what remains of the Second Inquisition become aware of that, it will be much harder to keep things stabilized. And that is why your various princes have allowed me to summon you. I'm aware that you are all not familiar with each other, but for the time being, you will be a coterie. And I am tasking you with infiltrating this cell's location. At minimum, absolute minimum, figure out what this black ice is and its threat level. At most, disable the cell and the AI. The method of infiltration, I leave up to you, but we must stop this. We must preserve what bit of the Masquerade we have left. Otherwise, things are going to get much, much worse for everyone. And even my private little island here will come under watch. Now, you have access to resources needed to supply yourselves back on the mainland, but by the end of the evening, you'll be overday traveling to Istanbul, where you'll do what you can to find the general location. We know it's in the city. We know it's along the coast. That's about it. Find what you can, get what you can, retrieve the information, or put a stop to this. Your preference. You will all be greatly thanked and handsomely rewarded. I imagine this is all to your liking.
Works. We can make it.
Yeah.
In the place that we will be taking residence, approximately how many sick kine are within the vicinity?
In Istanbul,
Yes.
I imagine you'll find plenty. They are still human after all.
Then it will be fine.
And she looks past, makes eye contact with Hayes and go, "You there, my interesting friend. You've been a quiet one."
I got sent on a job. I'll do the job.
Excellent. I appreciate all of your enthusiasm. The boat will take you to Athens rather than Lorium. You'll be able to get whatever you need. Anything that you may have difficulty with, she points over to her servant. Your point of contact, he'll arrange what he can. I imagine that you are all, she taps at her forehead, outfitted for communications.
Yeah, we got it.
Good. Be sure to
Yeah.
synchronize. And be careful. Istanbul is still Anarch territory after all. But I imagine that you'll all do just fine. And support the tower well.
Always have.
And then she sits back and seems to have no care that you're there anymore, as the servant gestures you all back the way that you came, through the red brick labyrinth out into the night air of Yaros.
Can I tell whether the servant is Kine or Kindred?
Let me take a quick look at your sheet. Off, because at a general note, you wouldn't be able to, but with heightened senses, you'd be able to hear a very slow heartbeat. Not one of any alacrity, but there is one there. It would probably be an educated guess that this is a ghoul, if anything.
Okay. The doctor loses interest. He doesn't care anymore.
As we're walking out, I'm gonna slide over to Hayes and pass her off a little, probably about 5 or 6 inch tall Nosferatu symbol, shaped out of red neon, tiny battery pack on the bottom of it. Just flick it on and pass it over. Just pleasure working with you.
You too. Didn't know it would come with gifts.
Needed something to keep me busy on the boat.
Is everyone gonna get one? Did you bring enough to share with the class?
I'm sure I can by the end of it.
That I believe. And Hayes is gonna squirrel it away into her bag, which seems to contain assortments of things.
And Riot's gonna pull out another neon piece and just start fidgeting with it and bending it and shaping it.
Go ahead.
Can Jones do something?
Absolutely. You have time as you're walking through. The servant is very, very focused on walking you all out the way that you came in and not accidentally taking you down another path.
Mm-hmm. Jones goes over to the servant and they go, "Hey,
Hi.
food, where?
What?
Food, where?
What's your preference?
What do you think? What do you think?
Do you prefer people, bagged, animal, people?
Any kind of thing that is blood that I can consume.
Yeah, we'll be setting shore in Athens. There's plenty over there, and then Istanbul is free reign, I imagine.
Yeah, are you on the menu by any chance?
I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I figured as much. I figured you'd have food though. Oh well.
I imagine if you are in more immediate need, I imagine the people of Yaros would be happy to oblige. They're all under Prince Anashan Rawan's thrall.
Jones is gonna take their arm and just pat this small little man
Oh dear.
on his little head and go, "You are very adorable. Very good." And then Jones is gonna continue walking with the group.
And he'll just mutter, "I don't think that's a compliment," and continue to go.
He's like a fruit snack. Like a gusher.
In case of emergency.
So the servant will lead you all back to the boat, and you will all board, or Jones will swim back, either way.
Jones is swimming.
And the boat cuts back through the Aegean Sea, different direction, towards Athens proper. And as you make landfall in Athens, he looks to all of you and goes, reach out, anything that you need in the city. It is Athens after all. And if you need direct contact, just, the usual. Anyways, and he just points at the boat and goes, I will be here. And I will send you your location for the overday travel towards the end of the evening.
All right then.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye, fruit snack.
Bye.
And you are all free to roam Athens together or separate to collect any supplies that you feel that you may need for this mission.
So what's the play? What are we trying to do here?
I'm gonna go buy a sword.
I suppose we should synchronize before we scurry too far from each other.
Oh yeah,
Right.
shit, let's do that.
Okay.
And so as you all focus on the various implants of the spider web, a falsified version of the Malkavian cobweb, please make me wits technology, all of you, to make sure that you can activate it. As you are all very close proximity and working on synchronizing together, the DC is incredibly low. And do be sure to add in your hunger die. You are all at hunger 1.
That is 5 successes on 5 dice.
Wonderful.
3.
3,
Or
4,
2.
2. All of it is more than enough. You feel each other sort of bleed into one another, mild overlappings of the mind. It's a little uncomfortable, as it always is, because one edge of consciousness is starting to slip over the other, the seams sort of weaving together. But you are connected. You can project simple thoughts to each other, simple sentences, nothing outstandingly complex. This is not high-level telepathy, but you will be able to keep track of each other and communicate.
I would say that it's pretty apparent that Kynan very much dislikes this process. Like, he's the one who brought it up, but he's sort of just like has a different deadpan face the whole time of just like, Kynan does not like cybernetics very much.
Riot just doesn't like sharing thoughts with people, so she's equally about it. But to test it, she projects out the thought. You ever wonder why we think we're better than the Sabbat when we pretty much do a digital Vauldery?
And the rest of you get the gist of that, of why are we better than the Sabbat? Basically, Vauldery.
Jones projects soft ocean sounds to meditate to.
Those come through exact.
Let's keep this channel clear outside of what we need to say, and Kynan walks away.
Let's keep this channel clear.
I'd like to use my heightened senses to try and find coffee.
Try and find coffee. That is significantly easier. I won't even need to make you roll for it. The moment that you start to activate your heightened senses, the smell of brewing coffee from both street vendors and shops alike starts to waft down from various streets and avenues, and you're able to procure nearly any kind that you want at this point.
Just 4 cups of black. In the largest size possible.
And the barista silently makes it, hands it over, one of numerous that they have made that evening. So you are all already outfitted with spiderweb technology. Many of you have other kindred enhancements at your disposal. What do you all feel that you'd need for this mission? Just on a base level. Jones is already going a bit of a medieval route.
Sword.
I'm going to I would like to check the area around us for any graffiti art, see if I recognize any artists or any messages within the graffiti.
Go ahead and do a wits awareness, and you can go ahead and add an extra dice for the graffiti in particular.
Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. There is a decent amount of graffiti. Athens, despite the socioeconomic hit that it took nearly a century ago that it never quite recovered from, does its best to keep the visible streets clean. Alleyways, however, are an entirely different story, and you're able to find quite a good deal of graffiti, including a couple that point you in the general direction of where you might find some black market dealings. You get some street crossroads.
Okay.
And one of them has a small Ankh integrated into the design.
There we go. That's what I was about to ask. Is Jones visible to me right now?
Not immediately visible unless Jones was following you, but if you project out, you'd be able to reach him no problem with all of your levels of spiderweb.
I'm gonna go out, look at the street corner I'm at, and project to Jones my location.
Okay. Jones is a little surprised at the sudden, oh, there's a thought and it's not mine, because they temporarily forgot. And then they're gonna go, oh, that's right, yeah. And then Jones is gonna shoot back, could you like give me like a map quest?
And I'm gonna look and just say like main road next to the whichever building is directly behind me.
You effectively get a pin drop.
All right, sweet. Jones uses their overlay to basically make a map. Just follow that.
For the hell of it, go ahead and roll me intelligence technology to
I'm so
just to
smart.
kick all of your neural implants on.
Hang on. One.
I do appreciate that we're in the far distant future and our dolphin gangle is still referencing MapQuest all these years later.
But yeah. I like to think MapQuest had a comeback.
Retro.
6.
Easy fucking peasy. It's super simple to navigate your way over. Now, while you're navigating over and while Dr. Ken is getting coffee, Hayes, you're somewhere, but where?
Hayes pretty much immediately disappears away from everyone as soon as we're all connected. She is just skirting shadow to shadow, wall to wall, getting a bit of an understanding of this place and looking for stuff to take.
Go ahead, in which case, roll me wits and streetwise compared to wits and larceny.
Mhm.
Four. There are numerous street vendors with various tchotchkes that'd be super simple to take things from, DVDs, souvenirs, etc. There's a couple of shops that have electronics that are on display. Some of them you'd have to go into. A lot of the humankind stores are closed at this hour, but there are still things that you could take, and let's be honest, something being closed is not necessarily a deterrent.
No, so she's just sort of pocketing the odd thing here and there, something that glints especially special. I definitely want to try to get my hands on something that might help us blend in when we get to where we're going, like if there's any kind of particular outfit that seems to be popular per se.
As you're heading to Istanbul in Turkey and you're in Athens, Greece, the general outfits that you're seeing here may make you look like Greek tourists, but there is a scarf vendor down the road, and with a pretty low DC wits and larceny roll, you'd be able to grab quite a handful of them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
All right, go ahead and do a quick wits and larceny, but with your dice pool, you can also just take half, as the companion suggests, and I can tell you right now that you would succeed on that.
Perfect, I'll go ahead and take half.
Wonderful. And that's why we like the companion book.
Mhm.
So Hayes walks away with a number of scarves, long scarves, Bedouin scarves, gifts for the new coterie, but practical ones.
Since we're doing gifts, apparently.
Seems
didn't
to be
get
the
the memo?
tradition.
Missed that email.
Are you attempting to link up with anybody else, or are you just wandering some more to see what you can take?
I'm gonna wander and see what I can take, but I'm gonna see if I can see Dr. Kynan, since he seemed especially interested in getting away quickly, and that sounds interesting.
Well, Dr. Kynan, once you grabbed your coffee, did you stay out in the open?
I did. I want to watch any of the kind that are the few that are going by, and I want to just do a quick medical breakdown from what I can tell on each of them going past. That one has a bad liver. That one's developing jaundice. That one's high off his ass. That
That
one's
one has
very
the
drunk.
sniffles.
Right. Just outside of that, I'm just sitting and drinking coffee.
And with that, it would be very easy, Hayes, once you circle back around, to find Dr. Kynan not terribly far from where you all broke off from each other.
Okay.
And while Hayes watches Dr. Kynan watch the Kine, Riot and Jones link up.
Jones will
gonna-
like skip on over to Riot and just be like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Hey, first, and I'm going to hand Jones a small little neon blue dolphin with spikes on the head crest. Just hand that over and be like, took you long enough to get here. I had time to make that.
I love it.
Oh, thank you.
This is the best thing I have seen in like a week, and I saw a man get decapitated. I'm keeping this.
Good. Good, you keep that. So I've got some there's some graffiti over there talking about black market stuff, and there's a little ankh on it. So I figured.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
You said you wanted a samurai sword.
I'm gonna get one if I purchase it or if I take it. I will have one.
I can appreciate that. What do you say we go shopping?
Ah, cool. You're a Toreador, so yeah, that makes sense. We'll go shopping, sure.
All right. And
You guys
I'm
are
going to start walking to where the graffiti kind of clued me in.
And it's going to lead you a bit more into town, down a road named Koritsi, near a comedy club. In the distance, you can actually see some of older Athens. I believe the temple of Olympian Zeus is visible much further down the road. But this little comedy club, there's not really a line, but there is a bouncer out front. But that looks like it leads into the actual comedy club versus the similar looking bouncer who just seems to be hanging along the side of the building. Not exactly where you'd normally see a bouncer hang out.
I'm gonna elbow Riot and go, jokes seem bad tonight.
Yeah, seems so.
Seem a little fishy.
Oh, tonight's gonna be like that. Okay.
We're at a comedy club. Come on. I could do rookie night.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that, kid. And Riot is going to go over to the other bouncer, and I'm going to use my clan coterie merit all access pass, and just gonna look to him and go, hey, how you doing tonight?
He's a large man with a very clean cut beard and a flat top. He looks down at you. You're presenting pretty well, and he's in kind of broken English is I'm doing fine, and you?
Doing good. I have a feeling I'm new in town, but I was told this was where one could get things that one wished to acquire.
You may have to specify. There's lots of things.
Oh, that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Lots of things.
Give me just a moment while I pull up the all access pass. And he thinks about the level of your words. And he just sort of gestures down the way and goes, second door is open.
Thank you. Come, Jonesy.
Jones follows and she's like, I'm not a dog. I went over this. Dolphin, not the same.
Yes,
So,
how do you properly call a dolphin?
you can't make the noise with your mouth. I tried.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do flips and tricks. I'm good at birthday parties.
I'll remember that. I have a centennial coming up.
Aw, good for you. That's cute.
Thank you. All right. And I'm going to make my way down and through that door.
And as you open the door, it seems almost like a large utility storage area, except there's a man in there just wandering from table to table, and there's multiple large cases on each table and some hung up on the wall, almost as if you'd open them up for display. And he looks up immediately and just goes, "You sent you back?
Hmm?
He sent you back?
Mhm.
Yes.
What can I do for you?"
Well, you see, we're new in town, and a little lady like myself needs a way to protect herself from all the unsavory folks of the night.
Who sent you?
I'm of the scene. I got word to come here. from the walls.
All right. And he starts opening the cases. And there's guns. And guns. And blades. Knives. Machetes. Swords. He opens the ones on the table, and there's various computers. Various neural implants. He just starts opening cases and goes, "What's your pleasure?"
Me personally, I would like some short blades, easy for a lady to keep on her person, at least 2. And then a reasonable firearm, something a bit intense is probably the word. And then if you have something a little bit more electric, that'd be great.
Jones gives Riot a look of like, damn, you must be kinky. What the hell?
Riot just winks.
He points over at two of the wall cases, one towards a series of knives, and goes, the middle one, and it's a matte black knife. It has a half serrated edge. And then he points over to one of the gun cases and goes, the MK25. And there's a pistol. It's a Navy SEAL kind of pistol, and it definitely looks like it has some intent to it.
Okay. And then is there a she's gonna look for a high capacity taser.
That's easy enough to find. Over between the guns and the blades, you have hand tasers, you have sort of cattle prods. There's even those brass knuckles that have the electrical prongs on them. They all hit pretty high voltage.
Okay. I'm gonna take a hand one, highest voltage I see there. Put that in the jacket pocket. Take 2 blades. One goes into the jacket, one goes into pocket, and then the MK is going to go into the other jacket pocket.
So that's a pistol, 2 knives, and knuckle tasers, or
No,
handheld taser.
Handheld, like one of the ones that launches.
Okay, yeah. Alrighty. And while she is shopping around, the man looks over to you, Jones, and just goes,
Jones looks at the man who probably only speaks like a little bit of English and then Greek, and he goes, sword. I would like a sword.
He points over to the case next to the knives, and there's machetes, there's claymores, there's katanas.
Bingo.
Right.
And then Jones just kind of pushes him out of the way and just goes for the samurai sword.
All right.
And they just go like, it's okay. Leave me alone.
All right, and then he'll watch you all. He'll watch you all grab your various weapons, and he's just taking mental note, and he goes, "It's $6K."
All right. Riot's gonna pay the man with a little bit of a tip.
Okay, yeah, and he'll let me go ahead and roll just to activate him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, easy. And unless you're resisting, he's sort of opening up spider web to connect to yours, so that you can transfer any wiring information over for money.
Yeah, and once connection is open, she's going to send him 6,300.
He goes, and then he gives a small wave and points back to the door. Just goes, "Good to go."
Thank you.
This is
Good night.
appreciated sword. And they go like, it's not bad. It's nice.
Hmm.
And then when they see your gun that you got that looks like it could be part of the US Navy, or the Marines or whatever, Jones goes, "Hey, Phil, my sire, he was a Navy SEAL. He had one of those."
Oh, do you
Yeah.
know how to use it?
No, I mean, I could probably maybe figure it out. No, no. All of my weapons. I mean, my body is a weapon. I'm a lethal weapon, quite literally. The U.S. government turned me into a lethal weapon.
Oh, that's actually that got real sad real quick.
Nah, it's not. I'm a dolphin now. Woohoo! Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And as they go, Dr. Kynan, you've been watching people for quite a bit. And Hayes has been watching you watch people for quite a bit. Hayes, are you obfuscated, or are you just hanging about?
Just hanging about.
Okay, then it's a simple wits awareness, Dr. Kynan, just to see if you want to take note of your new coterie mate watching you watching people.
It's not many, but it is 2 successes.
2 successes, and Hayes, are you doing anything in particular to not be seen while you watch, or you just stare?
I mean, I'm being sneaky, but I'm not doing anything like overtly supernatural to avoid it.
In which case, Dr. Kynan, it'll be sort of like a quick glance, but you'll become aware of like, oh wait, I actually just left the island with her, of Hayes just sort of lurking and watching.
Did you plan on watching me for very long?
Yeah, probably for a while. And Hazel come out of her shadowy corner.
Interesting. I've been told it gets boring.
Everything gets boring sooner or later. What are you doing?
Trying to see who's the closest to dying. It's a fun game.
Who's winning?
The Reaper.
Gallows humor. Okay.
Gallows truths.
There's truth in humor. Why?
Because I have to do something while you all prepare for the mission.
Don't you have to prepare for the mission?
If I wasn't prepared for the mission, I'd still be in my hospital.
I get that. And Hayes is going to take a seat down next to the doctor and just start watching people as well.
Do you drink coffee, Hayes?
No.
Good. It's terrible for you.
Somewhere between the coffee and the smoking, I don't think it really matters anymore. How about that one? How close is that one to death?
I'd say about 10 years. Given their proclivity for outdoor extreme sports, though, it may be a tragic departure that comes a bit sooner.
And that person in particular has quite a few modifications onto them that seem like they would add some protection, add some stabilization, but as Dr. Kynan says, only a matter of time.
Do you have a weapon? Out of
I'm the
curiosity.
weapon.
I'll be sure to stand behind you then.
You won't see me.
That would be a first.
Hayes appears not offended, but highly intrigued by that challenge.
Hayes, Dr. Kynan, while you're both a bit more wrapped up in conversation than other things, could you both make me a resolve and technology roll?
Sure. Plus our hunger die, yeah?
Yes, please. Always add your hunger die in vampire, unless you are specifically told not to.
Oh, fun. Well, that's a 1 on that hunger die that I just talked about.
Well, do you have any other successes?
I do. I have 3 successes.
Great, then you don't have to worry about the 1 on your hunger die. And then
3
also,
for me.
Also 3. Great. So as you're talking, both of you, as you lock eyes at this sort of unofficial challenge, are hit with a quick, very quick burst. Just pops in both your heads in a second. It's a large factory on the river. Very old. Looks like it was unfinished. Something to do with metal. And then it's gone.
Can I Is there any way to discern where that may have come from?
Like where the vision came from?
Whom? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, whom? Whom? No. Where? Your spider web.
Okay. Dr. Kynan will pull out a very oversized silver pistol that looks like this. And is just now is even more intently looking amongst the crowd.
Hayes is also looking around for something, whatever might stand out right now after that.
Well, what is standing out are the couple of people that are now eyeballing Dr. Kynan and his very large gun. They're not as scared as one would assume them to be. Athens has a decent amount of crime, but Dr. Kynan is not currently actively engaged with anybody. So for the time being, they're not worried. If anything, they're more impressed with the size of the gun than where it's pointed. Apart from that, though, the city seems relatively normal.
I hate cybernetics.
Why?
I personally find the forms that we've been gifted to be the epitome of perfection, and to tamper with beauty further is unwise.
I mean, like, you're like a doctor, though, right? Like, I mean, didn't you have to, pins in hips, steel bones, lab grown hearts to replace fucked up ones? Isn't that
Only when I
all that?
wanted to. I will holster the gun and say, "We should return to the ship. I don't like being out here any longer."
All right.
And Dr. Kynan and Hayes make their way back towards the ship, where I believe Jones and Riot are also heading.
Yep, on the way back, I'm just going to keep an eye out for any other graffiti of note, any city stories that they're telling me.
There's a couple of very promising artists. One in particular just seems to have a theme that involves the ancient ruins of Greece as a metaphor for the city's economic trajectory.
I'm going to notate that. I like sponsoring upcoming artists.
And you all make your way back to and convene at the ship. Jones, you were heading there with intention, though.
Yes. Jones sees the squad and kind of gives like a head nod. He goes, "I got a sword." And then without fanfare, they're just going to go up onto the ship, find their room in their duffel bag, zip it open, pull out like a beefy laptop where like it's got weird shit sticking out of it. It looks like Jones just found shit, started slapping it together. Pull that out and start researching anything that looks a little sus in Istanbul, especially around the coast, and where any kind of like internet ports, or if they have those like underwater like internet wires in the ocean that Jones can use to find this really sus place that we're going to go find.
All right. Let's go ahead and call that intelligence and technology, since you're trying to connect into a lot of different back channels to get there first. Is anybody following Jones, or are you all just hanging out on the deck while they do this?
I've gone back to my room. I'm going to take 2 cans of spray paint in as close of approximation of colors as I have to the common colors I saw in the graffiti around. Just any 2 colors that would look like they would fit in case we need to cover anything up or do any false leads for other people.
Good to know.
Particularly the one with the ankh. Just colors that go with that.
Noted.
I would like to try and sense the unseen to see if we're being followed.
Okay. Go ahead and just go ahead and make a wits awareness roll. I'll let you add in your aspects for that. just for sake of simplicity.
That is going to be a critical success.
Great. How many?
Oh God, numbers 5.
5 critical. Now, is that including the doubling of your critical dice?
No.
Okay, so then we're looking at, I believe, a 7 critical?
6.
6 critical. Great.
Yeah.
Well, that is more than enough. You look around off of the boat, taking extra special care to see what you can see. And you don't notice anybody following you. You do notice that there are 75% more Nosferatu in the general area than you thought there were per haze, as 3 obfuscated Nos are milling about. One on the docks, one a bit further up into town, and you can just sort of see one flitting like from alley to alley. Definitely not visible to the human eye, but also not necessarily following you. Though the one on the docks is much closer to your ship than the others.
Okay. I'll just wait with my gun.
I got my roll, by the way.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I got my roll as well. I finished.
Okay, great. Let's figure out what Hayes is doing, and then we'll come. It's to see if Hayes follows you to your room or is hanging out somewhere else, and then we'll pick up with yours.
I am gonna follow Jones to their room.
Okay, so Jones pulls out their console, opens it up, is starting to search as a cybernetic Nosferatu just slowly leans over their shoulder. And what was your roll, Jones? 6.
With a critical success.
Wonderful. That 6 is including the critical counting? Great.
I'm good at lots of one thing.
And that you are, it is quite easy to get a rundown of more unusual areas. In particular, you're looking for higher energy use areas. You're looking for higher internet use areas, and there's quite a few. There's a few office buildings that are along the isthmus that is Istanbul. Large tower buildings. Some of them may be tech companies in their own right. One of them seems to be more of a business side, but the other one seems to actually work in technology itself. There's a couple of cyber cafes scattered about here and there. There is it looks like it would have been a steel complex, but it's not quite done yet. That's got some power lines and internet lines running to it along the coast. There are a few entertainment areas that are probably running the internet there for the various clientele. You're able to find out that one of them is absolutely operating illegally and should not be selling some of the things that it is selling. But until somebody shuts them down, who's going to know? And Hayes, this is all on a screen in front of you and Jones, so you can see these things go by. And make me a wits insight roll, Hayes.
Three.
That half-built steel complex looks very familiar. In fact, it looks recently familiar, almost as if it popped into your head about 15 minutes ago.
What's that one?
It's a steel complex. Looks like it's not finished. Got some power lines. It's on the list of shit I want to check out when we get there.
That one should be at the top of your list.
What makes you say that?
Call it a popped into my mind hunch.
You want to elaborate at all?
Honestly, I kind of just did. The doctor and I were sitting around and that popped into, well, at least my head, but definitely his too, I think.
Okay, goes to the top of the list. Goes right up there. All right, then. Top of the list. We'll go there first. Speaking of, did you notice the doc doesn't have any cybernetics? Nothing? Not even like cosmetic?
It's weird, right? I don't trust
it's
it.
super weird. Like, come on, why would you not want this?
Why would you not want to be the best at whatever it is you do?
I know, right? And I'm the best dolphin.
I have no evidence to the contrary of that.
I just perfected the ball trick the other day. I can bounce it on my nose. You should see it sometime.
I would like to see that almost immediately.
No, right? We'll do it. We'll do it once we finish saving the world, and then I'll show you the ball trick.
That will be our celebration party. I accept your terms.
Check this out. And I pull out my little neon, and I go, look, I'm in the club.
Oh, and Hayes pulls out her little neon.
The club, right? The super secret, like, weird Toreador club.
Yeah, I don't think a Toreador's
Well,
ever
I'm
given
not-
me anything nice before in my life.
It's because you're ugly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they, like, pet me like a dog. Yeah, I get the same treatment from the Ventures, though. They go, oh, look, a dolphin, go! And I go, hey, I'm gonna take your stick and stuff it up your oven, whatever. It's fine.
Don't tell them you can do the ball trick.
I have not told them that I can do the ball trick. They don't get the ball trick. Unless they pay me a lot of money, and then I will do any trick they want. Hoops.
Any ball trick you happen to know, huh?
Any ball trick I happen to know. For any price, you name it, like, you'll get one ball trick for each price you name, depending. The trick gets better as the price goes up.
And from behind both of you, you hear a very weak,
Oh, hi, Fruit Snack!
and it is the servant who has come to check in the room to see if everybody's back yet. And he looks as if he has been more and more concerned the more that you have talked, Jones. Like every word that comes out of your mouth is just a little bit more unsettling than the last.
Good.
goes, Oh,
Hi, Fruit Snack.
oh, good. Are the others here?
I don't know. You want some
Think
more sword?
so.
Before I leave my room, because I will be probably walking up right as this is happening. Before I leave my room, I'm going to check my phone, and I am going to check the app that has been made for me that lets me track all of my art, make sure if it's been painted over, make sure if it's been taken down, and I'm going to check the 2 newest pings and make sure that they are on the boat. And seeing that they are on the boat, I will close the app and walk down to where I saw the pings.
Head on down. As you're heading down, you do also notice that one of your pieces in Germany did get painted over, and you'll have to fix that one.
As
you're-
usual.
Yeah, and as you're walking down, you see this poor servant looking extraordinarily uncomfortable, standing outside of Jones's room.
I go, hey, Fruit Snack, you want to see my sword? And I take out the samurai sword.
Lovely. And he looks over and sees Riot walking up, goes, 1, 2, 3. If you all know what Dr. Kynan is, I'm ready to take you over to the train that will take you to Istanbul.
The doc came back with me. I don't know if he's still here.
Great. Well, pack your things and I will. And before he even finishes, he's away from the 3 of you as quickly as possible.
Bye, Fruit Snack. I'm gonna eat that. I'll find.
Don't do that.
I'll find a way. He's gonna live forever. He's a ghoul. One day, I'll do it.
Go for it.
Oh, this is a long-term goal.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
this is we plot like long-term goals.
Yeah,
This-
like a 5-year plan.
Yeah, this is like a 10-year get the ghoul. You know what? Once we save the world and she like owes us a boon, I'm gonna get him.
Shit, man. I don't know what I'm doing past Tuesday.
Well, we're supposed to have long-term goals. We're vampires, so I made mine. Mine's gonna eat that ghoul. A little bit. I'll keep him alive.
Dr. Kynan, the servant does find you and repeats everything you said to them about, I'm ready to take you and the rest of yours to the train for over a day to Istanbul if you'd grab your things. And then he just walks off the boat where he's going to wait for everybody.
I will collect my things, which includes a coffee maker.
Outstanding. And if the rest of you are collecting your things, then he'll be waiting at the bottom of the boat, where he will be escorting you the several blocks over to a train station. There's one train that is sitting on its track, not moving, not allowing other people to come on. Every window is blacked out. It's a very short train. And he points to it and goes, you will have rest accommodations in here, and you should hit Istanbul by nightfall.
All right. Thanks, fruit snack. See you later.
And he goes over and he presses his hand against the door, and then the door opens. He goes, off you go then.
Peace. I take my military duffel and I walk on the train.
And as you all board the train, there's sleeping accommodations for all four of you. And as you get to settle in, the train takes off. Slowly at first. Building up speed. It's got quite a way to go between Greece and Turkey. You'll settle in for the morning, not having to worry about the sun. And about the time that you're waking up, the train is starting to slow. Almost as if you never hit the top speed that it would go. Could you all please make a rouse check for me, as it is a new day, or a new night? Riot is good. Haze is good.
What did we roll for rouse?
Just one hunger die.
I'm good.
No, I rolled a
Not
5.
good? You rolled a 5? Okay, so Jones is at hunger 2. Which means, for those of you who are learning how to play at home, the hunger die that you add into your roll, Jones will be adding in 2 instead of 1. The train slows to a stop, opens up to a much noisier train station. Welcome to Istanbul.
Sweet.
You disembark from the train, and per Prince Anashin Rawan's instructions, you have a couple of nights to survey the area, gather what information that you can, and complete the mission.
Mhm.
Jones, you have a bit of a checklist, reordered thanks to Hayes. But if any of you need to acquire more information, more items, it's an Anarch city. So long as you don't flaunt the Camarilla bit around, money talks, influence talks. Some of your kind human lives may even talk.
Riot's
And-
gonna look at her outfit and just, yeah, I'm good here.
Yeah, I think the spike mohawk sells it.
And the city is yours. Where to?
I look at the team and I go, okay, so we need like a base operations, like a boat, but for here. Does anybody have enough money or influence to just poof a base? We're talking a van, apartment, right? All right, you know what? Fucking show off again. It's fine. I don't even care.
Excuse me, I got you a very nice sword.
I know you did. It's fine. You have lots of money. It's probably very cool. Go ahead. Get us a cool base of operations. I hope it has lots of art and expensive things that I'm not allowed to sit on.
I only have a lot of money because some very dumb kind will pay a lot of money for any random thing scrawled on the side of a building that they think has a political message.
Nobody pays a dolphin for a trick.
I
The
imagine-
kind are addicted to
First wood.
symbolism.
Hey, Doctor, we gotta have a sit down powwow when we get to this like base here, because I wanna figure out your deal here, bud.
All right, give me a minute.
All right,
And I'm going to walk to I would guess what would appear to be the first really rundown looking area and try and spot just like a building that looks mostly abandoned and head up the fire escape until I find an empty apartment.
There is a market. It's Kim Market. It's off of Kadirga Park. It's actually within eye line of the Hagia Sophia, but that's neither here nor there for the purposes of your all stay in Istanbul. And there's apartments over it that don't look like they're particularly occupied, or if they are occupied, no one's going to be paying much attention.
Okay. And I'm just gonna look down to the group and
Let's go.
And if you've all followed her, then
Does
you'll...
the doctor have any kind of luggage at all? Any bag?
Yes, there's a small, like, almost suitcase type satchel and a coffee maker tucked under the right arm.
Jones is gonna like reach for the satchel and go, "Come here, your arms are tiny."
No.
Your arms, all right, whatever. You suffer.
And so if you all follow up the fire escape, Riot has found a variety of apartments, most of which don't look like they have anything in them. It does look like the windows are locked, which really is a shame.
They don't have to be.
Why don't you go ahead and roll Dex and Larceny with your specialty?
yeah, realizing that they're locked, I'm just gonna look at Hayes like,
Hayes
Puts their hand down as if they were going to break it.
Five, six, 7.
What locked window? The window is open. Almost as if Hayes reached over and you weren't lifting it hard enough, Riot. Just... And you have yourselves an apartment.
Hayes holds the window open, like sarcastically, dramatically, and gestures for Riot to go in.
Riot's gonna blow her a little kiss as she goes in.
Toreador. But it's not as bitter as it could have been.
Jones is gonna lean to the doctor and go, "I ship it." It's good.
But we are no longer on a ship. What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
Oh my
bud.
god, go through the window.
Okay, and I do like a dive.
Once Kynan is inside, I'd like to do like maybe a survival check to see if there's any sign of anyone having been in these apartments recently.
Sure. Let's go ahead and call that wits and survival.
Okie doke. Would I get to add my tracking specialty to this?
I'll go ahead and say yes, and I'll give you a bit of an idea of maybe like what people were doing here, if there were any people here.
Fantastic. On 6 dice, that is 5 successes.
5 successes. There are a lot of needles in here. A lot of them, a lot of broken needles, all of them used. This was absolutely a drug house. People came in here, shot up, crashed out. You'd find a discolored patch in one of the rooms. It's roughly human shaped. But it's not there now. There's not a person there now.
I'll look at the rest of them and say, this will be my room. And I'll set the thing down in the coffee maker.
Jones makes a beeline to the bathroom.
There is, in fact, a bathroom. It's not a great bathroom. The mirror's broken.
Does
The
it have a
toilet doesn't work.
bathtub or just a shower?
There does have a tub. It's a bit of a shallow tub, though. It's not exactly going to be like a full jacuzzi or a 2-person thing, but it'll work.
Jones flops their bag off, starts taking out shit. Is there a window in the bathroom?
No.
Great. We take out the washcloth, we stuff it down the drain, we start filling that bad boy up.
Wait, the water is sort of brown, but it does, in fact, start filling up.
We let it just fill.
Does the whole place look like a drug house, or just that particular room Kynan was in?
The main area looks like it was a drug house. Like looks like a drug house. That room looks like it was a drug house. You can find a corner that doesn't look like it was a drug house, but to your fancy, it does look like some people decided to spray paint in here. Nothing really good, nothing quite your speed, but they were at least doing something with paint in here. So it's not a total wash.
I'm going to go to the front door
Okay.
first. I'm going to look out the front door, check for anyone in the hallway.
There is nobody.
And then I'm going to step out front, close the front door carefully so I can still get back in. And I'm going to take one of the colors, one of just the base black colors, and using my knowledge of trends, I am going to abandon hospital, like, paranoia across this door to prevent anyone from coming in.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity crafts. Yeah, it's definitely crafts. I'm just picking what it would be. Actually, not dexterity, because you're lying to people. And lying is manipulation. So we're going to call it manipulation craft.
Okay, and I have...
You can add your bonus for
I have
the graffiti
pluses
artist.
for my lore sheet.
And Hayes, you're still in the main area. You see the door close, and then you just hear a faint from the outside.
I am going to find myself a corner or a broom closet, and I don't care if it's drug housey or not, to throw my stuff down.
You definitely find one, and with 7 successes, this is extraordinarily convincing. It might confuse some of the people, if there are people still in this building who don't remember this being an abandoned hospital, but they didn't really know what it was in the first place, so could be now.
Not so much abandoned hospital, but just a, like, the paranoid spray paint of, like, there are demons inside me.
Like someone came from one of those places.
Yes.
Understandable. And as you're doing that, it occurs to you that maybe some of the sloppy work inside is because the paint was being used possibly for something besides art, but it just sort of made its way onto the wall in the process.
Yeah.
But you do a great job, even better than what the inside looked like.
And I'm going to go back inside and go to the corner with at least some spray paint, and I'll curl up in there.
Okay.
What is the window situation in this room?
There's one window, and it's the one that you all came from. And just for point of fact, as you're all setting up, it is the beginning of this night. So you have an entire night ahead of you. But there is a window that you did just come through that leads into the main area. The window that in the room that Dr. Kynan went into is wood boarded up. And there's another room that has half of a curtain over it.
Okay.
But it looks like that one is mostly in the shadow of another building. You may need to just position yourself out of line of sight from that window.
That's what I'm going to make sure of.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have a base of operations. Are you going to be staying here for a bit, getting things together, or are you going to be progressing out into the city?
I'm going to go, once I've settled into the corner, I'm going to go into the mill and go, so what are we going to do? I'll admit I dozed just a little bit while she was talking. Killing anarchs today?
Maybe, I say from the bathroom. Jones is now half in this tub, half laying out of the tub. The laptop that they use is propped up on the toilet, and that's their situation. It's this weird snake thing.
The water smells a little funny for those of you that get close enough to the bathroom to smell it, but it's not awful.
Yeah. Not gonna get close.
Jones has got a list of buildings to investigate.
Okay.
Yep. I think I can divvy these up based on how good we are at individual shit.
And what do we do when we find them?
Look for, like, some Anarch shit. You're good at finding secrets in walls. That's your thing.
Yes, and when we find them...
Report back. Do not engage.
That's no fun.
Do not engage until the rest of us are together, and then we can come up with a plan. But, so we got cyber cafes. Let's put that on Hazer Doctor. Entertainment, that'll be Riot. I'll take the Steel Complex. And we got some office buildings after that. Any of you guys want to take that? They look pretty normal. You know what?
I'll take it.
We'll take it. All right, cool. That means, Doctor, you get cyber cafes. And I give everybody little... you know what? I use our cool cyber network, and I transmit little addresses to everybody.
You all effectively get pin drops for your various locations.
It's like a post-it note for your brain.
It's pretty sweet. I do enjoy our whole situation.
Yeah,
I glance at the doctor, just at that sentence.
I am also seeing what he does. This is very much a ruse.
Completely just deadpan, waiting for someone to say something else.
So Doctor, did you get the pin drop?
I did.
You hooked up? Good. Good for you, buddy.
He'll lift like the dreads and show that there is a small old implant that is, but it is there.
Exactly enough to allow for the spiderweb connection and nothing more.
The
Mine's
Windows
military
95 of cybernetic.
Windows 95.
Mine's military grade. It was a gift. Anyways, let's go.
All right, so for my own personal record, we have Riot and investigating the entertainment, like nightlife area. Dr. Kynan is checking out the cyber cafes. Hayes is checking out those business complexes, and Jones is checking out the steel mill. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great. Let's go ahead and go clockwise, starting with Dr. Kynan. You are heading over towards the cyber cafe area. And you are heading down the street. It's not a particularly far walk to the coast, to Avraste Tuleni. And you can see it. You can see one, and then there's one like another block down. It's just like, seems like every block. They're just little holes in the wall. As you peer in through the windows, you can see rows of computers, handfuls of people in each one.
Okay. With my previous experience that I do have with Anarchs, can I try and track any like commonalities, kind of like what Riot was doing with the spray painting, but I don't have that specialty in particular. I just have tracking in general.
Yeah, so go ahead and do that witch survival with tracking attached to it, and see if you can pick up, I don't know, patterns.
Okay. I will also activate my cat's grace so that no one touches me.
Sounds good.
Ooh, that's not a great roll. 3 successes?
3 successes. Everybody here looks a little sketchy, just to be honest. It's a little difficult to pick out particularly Anarch behavior. I will say though, as you're looking through, you're trying to get a sense of everybody. The woman that's actually running the front desk is sort of looking at you, weighing whether or not she wants to ask you if you're going to purchase time or leave. But you're sort of casually doing that thing that you do, where you examine the people as you examine the patterns. And this person has some breathing problems, and this person has had way too much caffeine, and that person is dead. They're definitely dead, but they're sitting there on their computer typing away.
I will ask the lady who's looking at me, wondering if I will purchase time. Do you serve coffee here?
And she just she understands coffee, and she points over, and there's it's sort of a freestanding coffee maker. It's like a big pot with a spigot on it, and a sterno burner underneath it, and some very, very cheap styrofoam cups are next to it.
I will refill one of the cups that I've kept with me from Athens, and then I will go and sit next to the person who is dead.
Okay, and he's typing. He's typing. If you glance over at his screen, he has about 12 different windows, not tabs, windows up, and he is just bouncing between all of them. Most of them look like forums, and he's just sort of frantically bouncing, typing.
And I'll look at him and say, do you speak English?
And he like sort of sits up, looks over to you, and goes, "Oh, sure, I speak plenty of English."
Good. I am new to Istanbul. I'm looking for...
Welcome. What brought you here then?
Patience.
I imagine you have to have a lot of patience for the travel time it would take to get over here.
I have quite a few, yes. I was looking for more nighttime companionship.
there's some girls probably a few streets down. There's some guys too. Everything in between, really. But
No,
it's not really my
not
bag of things.
that people like us.
Oh, gotcha. He taps the side of his head, and he goes to tap you on the nose because
Do not
he
touch
gets
me.
it. Okay, then. And he like leans very close. What you looking for?
I'm looking for a couple of things. I think, at least where I'm from, it is customary to visit the Elysium of a city, pay respects to its baron, as it were.
Yeah. There's there's about 5 of them here, so sort of take your pick there. Most of them take up nightclubs. They sort of got the idea from the Americas. They really like to hear. Plus, there's a lot of nightclubs around here, so it's pretty easy to just set up shop in one.
And I'll look to do his tabs. Can I discern anything from them?
Windows,
he's on-
not tabs,
yeah.
and they are
Gotcha.
full of text. They're full of text. Again, it mostly seems like forums and chat rooms, just talking to a variety of people. Some of them are local nightlife. Some of them are random topics like anthropology, bird watching, just all over the place with this one.
What's your name?
Marcus.
Marcus. You can call me Doctor.
Sure thing, Doc.
Would you mind, in exchange for resources of your choosing, being a bit of a guide while I'm in your city?
I'm a little busy at the moment, but are you looking to go somewhere in particular?
I will. Just a clarification question. Does
Yeah.
Kynan know that the place that I saw in that little blip that I got? Do I know that that's one of the places that's being checked by my coterie?
You did hear that a steel mill was on the docket, but unlike Hayes, you did not see it.
Okay.
On a computer screen.
Gotcha. I was wondering if you could tell me about a steel mill that was in the area.
Sure. There's about 3. You looking for any in particular?
And I'll describe what I saw.
The half finished, not quite done.
Yeah.
Goes that's probably the metallurgy. They were putting one up, but the other 2 just sort of ran out of business. So they just sort of kept it there.
And have any of us taken up root there?
And he sort of looks like around and goes, "What kind of taking up route are you looking for?"
I will. I don't like it, but I'll open my spiderweb channel and try and switch the conversation to being less vocal.
All right. Ooh, yeah. It comes through very direct. It comes through crystal clear for him.
And I'll say technology advancements. As you can see, I'm not very equipped. Looking to change that.
And what comes through from you to him is technology advancements, not very adept. But from him to you, it's eloquent. And it is crystal. And for full disclosure for the audience, it's a 7 critical that he rolled on that witch technology. And he goes, well, you see, there's a handful of the more technologically advanced folks that have been running fiber optics to the area. Not quite sure what they're working on. Know that some servers have gone in and out of there. I don't know if I'm assuming that you're a doctor of that sort of field, as opposed to, the kind. But I suppose if you hit up one of the barons, you could probably get your way in, offer your services. I don't really know what they're up to in particular there, but I do know that there's been quite a few running in and out of there on a regular basis. I'm not really keeping a super watch on it, but it's definitely folks about.
I will slide him a business card and say, appreciate it.
And
If you-
out loud, he goes, "Oh, vintage."
If you need any medical work done, let me know. There aren't many specialists in our biology.
Oh, you're that kind of doctor. My bad.
And Kynan will just stand up and leave.
Great. Yep. And as you're leaving, you feel like the threads of the connection of the spiderweb slipping away, as they do, slower than normal, bit by bit.
I'm gonna take a very, very, very roundabout way back to where we're staying.
Okay. Moving clockwise to Hayes. Leave you exploring the business complexes.
Yup.
All right. Like I said, there's a couple of them. One seems to be a bit more financial. One seems to be a bit more technology. Lobby is not open for either of them, but there are lights on a bit further up in the building.
I'm gonna start with the technology one, I think.
Okay.
And I'm assuming there's probably like a back door, security door, smoke break door.
Go ahead. Actually, no, you can go. You can find one. You'll still have to break into it though, but you can definitely find another door. And we'll call that your wits and larceny, or your dexterity larceny rather.
Yeah. 5.
It's not a complex door. It's a back door. It's a manual lock. It's easy to open.
Perfect. So Hayes pops the lock, and then I am going to, before I go up, I'm going to figure out what floor, give or take, these lights are on in. And then I'm going to take like the stairs or fire stairs or whatever seems less used.
The lights appear to be on 9 and 10, but, you know, what's 9 or 10 floors for the undead?
Yeah. So I am going to start heading up the stairs and taking a listen at the doors in to see if I can hear any kind of movement or anything from inside.
When you get to the 9th floor, you can hear some humming of machinery. You don't hear movement inside, but you hear humming of machinery.
All right, I'm gonna creep into there, and I think this time I'm gonna hit up my obfuscate.
Okay, go ahead and make that unseen passage roll for me. Make the rouse check.
Sounds. I am good.
Great. So as you open the door, you fade out of general sight, and with your level of obfuscate, out of sight of any cameras that might be on this floor as well. And as you open the door, the humming is a series of 3D printers, just wall to wall, just moving, printing, moving, printing. It looks like they're printing parts, electronics parts.
So can I send like a screenshot via my eyes along the spider web specifically to Jones to show them what might have been hauling all the power here?
Yeah, you were just projected as a thought.
Yeah.
And Jones will get that.
Okay, does that coordinate with anything I researched on my cool, like, preliminary research? Everything looks in order?
The technology companies seem to be parts, but it didn't specify what or how. So
But
it would that would
parts
line up pretty
and
well.
Parts and parts. It's parts.
Yeah, that would line up pretty well. And that would absolutely account for the amount of power being pulled to the area.
Okay. I send a thought back to Hayes. All good. Situation normal.
All right, and I will keep heading up the floors then.
All right. And as Hayes is exploring, get up to the next floor, and you hear some typing from inside, like a mechanical keyboard. Not much else.
All right, I'm gonna sneak into this floor. Still an obfuscate, or do I need to rouse again?
No, you don't. Unless you're doing something dramatic, you won't have to.
No.
So you open the door, and there's one person sitting at a computer. They're not facing you, and they just there's a cigarette in an ashtray next to them and a pack next to it, and they're just typing and typing. It looks like they're probably setting the schedules for the next week or so.
I'm just gonna sneak up behind them real quick and make sure what's on their screen looks moderately normal.
It does look exactly like it would belong here.
Perfect. Then I leave them to their menial labor.
Right. And as you head back down, we'll continue clockwise over to Riot in the entertainment district.
So going through, I'm gonna check first for graffiti.
There is some. It looks like it's been commissioned, though, as opposed to anything, you know, just out and about.
Okay. What kind of entertainment am I seeing around here?
Nightclubs mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly nightclubs. Some have a bit more security around them than others. But all pretty much just music is going. Lines of people are outside.
Oh. Is there anything that looks particularly out of place or slightly different?
Nothing particularly out of place. It looks like it would fit for the area, I would say. It would be hard to judge what is out of place for this part of town that you haven't been in unless you are looking for something in particular.
What building has the commissioned graffiti on it?
That would be it's a wall. It's a wall of, it looks like it was just a general entertainment complex. Like there's a lot of screens in there, possibly virtual reality happens in there. And it's a wall of a building after all the windows that is on your way over to the nightclubs.
Okay. I'm going to go to the nightclub with the longest line. Or the most beefed up security.
Okay, yeah, and there's one, it doesn't have the longest line. That one actually has just 4 or so people outside, but it has about 5 different security guards that you can tell.
Okay.
And not all of them look like they're actually doing anything, but they're all there.
Okay. Can I do wits and awareness to see if I notice any of them not breathing?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay, let me do... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I was going to say add in your heightened senses, but you don't need to. None of them are.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go up to them. Is there a line to get into this club? Or is it just...
The 3 or 4 people that are outside.
Okay,
that are different from them.
I'm just going to walk up and I'm going to kick on awe.
And all 5 of them just look at you. It's sort of unsettling. 5 very large people just abruptly paying attention to you.
I'm just gonna... Hi, gentlemen.
Can we help you?
Yes, I would like to get into the club tonight. I'm supposed to meet someone here, but I'm new in town and I got horribly lost and they just went in without me.
You have a appointment here, or they are just friend?
Appointment? Well, now, I don't know what my friend would have called it then. We're business acquaintances.
And one of them, he's paying very well attention to you. He leans forward and goes, "How can I help you?" With a lot of emphasis on the word help.
And I'm gonna lean in and go, "Hi, darling. Bright Levain, international graffiti artist."
And one of the other ones actually has a look of recognition, but not this one. He goes, "You come to paint club, or?"
No, I was told that I was here to paint for somebody else. and I was told that this is where like-minded and similar blood people hang out.
And the one that had a look of recognition leans over and whispers something to the first one. And the first one straightens up and he just sort of gestures with his head and says, "Go on in."
No, thank you.
Mm.
And I'm gonna.
Yeah, and as you're walking in, he turns around and says, "Be sure to pay respects to Baron Urgavan while inside."
Absolutely. And I'm going to go in and look around for someone who looks like they would be the Baron.
That would probably be the man in the gold suit that is sitting in the VIP section with about 3 women and 2 men just sitting around him, while other people just dance and mingle out in the club.
Perfect.
I'm gonna educated guess.
Once I'm in, I'll drop awe immediately, and I'm going to go up to where the Baron is, respectfully away, but clearly presenting myself for the Baron.
And he's looking at his companions and then just looks over to you, glosses over you, looks around again, then looks back over to you. Oh, you're still there. Takes his arms off of the others and sits forward, head completely shaved, has a dangly gold earring to match his gold suit because ostentatious is not in this man's vocabulary. And he goes, "What can I do for you?"
I do believe you are the Baron, correct?
Word has gotten around. Yes, I'm Baron Urgavan.
Pleasure to meet you.
Who are you?
I am Riot Levain, international graffiti artist. I'm in town on a business trip, and I was told to come pay my respects.
International graffiti artist. He looks to his companions like, "We have celebrity in my club. This is very nice."
Oh, hardly a celebrity. My best work is ones that people don't know are mine.
Woman of subtlety. As he gestures at your jacket. I appreciate this. I too am subtle.
I see we have similar ideas of taste. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you presenting yourself to me. I assume you have made same at the other lesser nightclubs in the area?
Not quite yet. I was told this one was the one to be at. So I made sure to come by here first.
You heard correct.
Oh,
I like you.
thank you. I like me too.
What is business in town?
Oh, I got commissioned by some big company to paint some political message on the side of their building so they can be involved in some mess. I don't care. They're just paying me. But it's my first time in Istanbul, and you know, a girl has to make sure she has the right resources and the right safety.
I think this could be done. Tell you what, on the way out, you talk to my men, you let them know where you're going to be painting. We can probably get a couple watchful eyes on the area, make sure you're not disturbed.
Oh, that would be so kind of you. Are there many like us around here?
There's enough. I'd say we probably hit about 60 in the city. 61 now.
And is that just Anarch, or is that including the other riffraff?
The other riffraff doesn't dare set foot in this city, as far as I'm concerned. If they do, they are stupid.
Oh, that. I like that.
Yeah, talk to them. We get some watchful eyes. We call it trivial. Boom, at this point, it's nothing.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to be meeting with the business associates so that they can point me to the direction of the building tomorrow night, but I figured presenting myself to you was a more top priority than that.
Yeah, where is building?
They told me it's going to be, what was it? It's some like community center that the city's wanting to demolish. They said they want a big mural on it so that they can protest that it's got value to the city or something. That was the email I got. They said they show me where tomorrow.
Go ahead and roll me manipulation subterfuge.
Got it. All right. And I will add 2 for my stunning merit.
Yes.
Extra sparkle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I have influential as well, if that helps me at all.
add your fame instead of your influence, since
Okay.
you've presented yourself as a celebrity.
Okay. So 1, 2, 8. I'm getting too many good rolls. I'm a little worried about when it's gonna fail me.
No worries. That beats his 4 critical. He does look very curious. But he goes, "Nah, community center is not exactly my bag. I don't. Good luck with that."
Thanks. The gentleman in the email seemed more one of those bleeding heart types.
Good for him.
Everybody's money's green on my end, so
Yeah. Trivial boon. He get your number
Got it.
on the way out too.
fantastic. Thank you.
Stop by any time, international celebrity.
Is this where we can normally find you? Just in
Mm.
case I need you again.
When I'm not out on business site, yes.
Okay, what is the business side? What do you do?
Work in a factory. There's a lot of them around here. Like to keep up running a business.
You need any art for those factories, you let me know.
They're all a little bit dank at the moment. I prefer the art of the nightclub, but I'll let you know.
Absolutely. All right, well, good night, Baron.
You have a good night.
And I am going to head out, and I'll give my cell phone number to the bouncer.
Yep. And he'll take it, and he'll give you a number to contact. It's not necessarily his, but just so you can contact him when it's time to do your art.
And I'm just going to check out a couple of the other nightclubs. No big investigation, just checking them out, getting a vibe for this area since she hasn't been to Istanbul before. What's the general, is this a place with way more like EDM type clubs, or is it a place,
It's mostly EDM and hip hop. There's definitely a local flair to it, though.
She's gonna take note of that in any local fashion.
And
Just
as you're
kind of
doing-
draw some inspiration.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, we're gonna finish the clockwise movement over to Jones.
Oh,
Who
real
is-
quick before I
Yes.
finish, once
Yes.
I have checked other things, I'm just going to make a very tiny neon circle
Okay.
with the battery pack, and I'm going to, as I go past a building near where I saw the Baron, I'm gonna put that like between pieces of the building, just so I have that location marked.
Sounds good. And we'll rotate over to Jones, who is making their way over to the unfinished steel complex that Hayes mentioned should be at the top of the list.
That's why Jones is going in.
Mhm.
So what Jones wants to do, and what I would like to do, this building's supposed to be like near the coast, right?
It is on. It is on the coast itself.
Yes, I'm going dolphin.
Wonderful.
What Jones is gonna do, walking down towards the dock or the coast, wherever, looking for like one of those drains that leads to the ocean kind of situation. Just a little like water's coming up here. It's kind of not great, but it will get me to the ocean because I want to shape change, but I don't want anybody to see me.
You won't necessarily need to worry about looking for that, because if you head down, just up the way around like around Kennedy area, you'll be able. Yes, there's an area in Istanbul that's named Kennedy. You'll be able to hit some dock areas that don't have boats on them currently.
Then I'm gonna do a sick flip off the dock, and as I'm flipping, I would like to turn into a dolphin.
Well, you won't have to roll for the sick flip, but you will have to do your rouse check for shape change.
Yes,
Sick flips are free in my game.
gotcha. All good in the hood. So
All right.
sick flip, dolphin form, splash, elegant.
Absolutely elegant. And as you move your way around the Dogan Balik little peninsula that pops off of this part of town, you round it and you can see the complex on the coast.
Okay. I do my best to look like a cute, unassuming dolphin, despite my rather largeness as a dolphin. and I like swim up and I go to like look at it from a little bit of a distance in case somebody is like, hey, there's a dolphin. Why is it 5 feet away instead of 10? So I'm keeping my 10-foot distance. 15.
Definitely smart. Definitely smart. I'd say let's call that wits awareness.
Wits awareness. All right. That's these, and then awareness. Oh gosh. Okay, found it. Not good at this. My dolphin eyes are not very good. 1 critical.
So just a 1.
Just the 1. Well, if you do the double thing, then it would be 2 successes, but with a critical.
Absolutely. And just for the folks playing at home, and if you want to, you can burn a willpower to re-roll up to 3 dice. That is not your hunger dice.
No, most of those were my hunger dice.
Reasonable.
A snack.
So it's hard to get like a good sense of what's going on here, but there are a lot of spotlights
Gotcha.
on the area, so it's definitely lit up. I will say it's pretty easy as you're swimming, though, that you can see cables that are actually coming from the water and up in, as if they've been routed after the fact, not buried cables, but run in such a way that they wouldn't be seen. And you can tell that there are people moving about, but it's hard to gauge the exact number of them. You see like one person walk by, and then occasionally you'll see another person walk by, and it's hard to tell if it was the same person or not, but you definitely see.
It doesn't look like 20 people. It looks like a couple.
It looks like a couple, but it's also hard to tell like how many of them have been the same person each time. But there's definitely people walking around this half-finished steel complex that is lit up by spotlights and has cables running to it.
I'm gonna do a little group text screenshot to the squad. Just ding.
Yep.
With a message that says "sus" in all caps.
And you all get sus in all caps along with this image. And Jones gets to make a resolve technology roll.
I'm good at that. 1, 2. What's that? And 2. I have a lot of desk space, so I just have this box that I roll with. Ooh, that's weird. 1, 2, 3, and then a crit on the, not crit fail, crit success on one of my hunger die.
Are any of the others critical?
No.
Okay, then you avoided a messy critical.
Cool.
So that's 4 successes. You feel the edges of something starting to tap your spider web, but it doesn't quite find purchase. Almost like there's a general scan that's going on.
Gotcha. I will make note of that to relay that to friends later. You said there's wires in the ocean.
Yes.
I'm a hacker dolphin with hacker implements on my dolphin form. I'd like to swim down to those wires.
Okay. They're large, like fiber optic cables. Looks like they're running power, high-speed internet, and just they're bundles, thick bundles that go down into the water from the building, and they go quite a ways. Like they go back into town. It's probably, considering that this place doesn't look like it's functional or supposed to be functional, it's probably safe to assume that wherever it's running into, it's not, a legal or ethical source.
Okay. Jones is going to see if they can use their hacker cybernetics that the US outfitted them, the government, and see if they can figure out what these wires service.
Well, like I said, based on just your observation, it's definitely power and high-speed internet, and it's running into this area.
Let's see what's on the internet with my cool cybernetic stuff.
You can try another intelligence and technology. To see if you can find any signal in this area that you're able to actually crack into.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes, and that was a lot of ones. So 3 successes.
Things kick on. The cybernetics don't quite go away as you shape change. They still are there, and it looks a little bit more disturbing against the gray dolphin skin. The skin sort of puckers around with the cybernetics, like it wasn't supposed to be there. After all, just a dolphin. And it lights up and kicks back off.
Damn.
And lights up and kicks back off as you keep trying to find connection, and it's kind of like hitting a wall every single time. Every single time.
Gotcha.
And I need you to make another resolve technology roll.
Okay. One of those, and I need technology, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm really good at this. Hopefully we're good at this. 1, 2, 2 successes. We're rolling like garbage.
And on the final time that you hit the wall hits back.
Ouch.
And there's a sudden picture that fills your mind. And it's just an eye. Just one big eye. Dark pupil. Grayed whites. Sunken in. And it's just looking right at you.
I show it a picture of me as a dolphin. And I say, I just make dolphin noises as a dolphin because I'm a hacker dolphin, and that's got to be weird. Screw you, weird eye. I'm a dolphin with cybernetics.
And a voice comes from the eye and just goes, "That's very naughty of you."
I make more dolphin noises.
And the eye goes away.
I swim away. I swim away.
And as Joan swims away, we're going to go ahead and take a break. So our folks can hydrate, various bio breaks that may or may not be necessary in the future. Only time will tell. And I'll be back with all of you in just a few minutes. Welcome back. This is Saturday Night One Shots, and you are watching Vampire 2099, a V5 Cyberpunk one-shot. Storyteller Zachary Vowder here with an amazing cast of players who are currently in Istanbul investigating some suspicious Anarch activity on behalf of the Camarilla, hoping that this suspicious activity won't blow the lid off of everybody's secret identities around the world. Before we jump back into things, I'd like to once again remind you that we are raising funds for Lost and Found Youth, a homeless youth fund project aiming to end homelessness for LGBTQIA youth, providing food, shelter, and life stabilization services to create a world where all youth can live and grow authentically. As this is Pride Month, we're kicking off the Pride donations with this show. There are links in the sidebar. We encourage you to donate what you can. Now, our four kindred are in Istanbul on orders from Prince Anushin Rawan to investigate an Anarch cell known as the Cimmerians. As far as Prince is concerned, they've gotten their hands on what may be Black Ice AI and are attempting to uncover masks and locations of prominent kindred around the world so as to blow everybody's cover to the humans and turn the underfunded, stretched thin Second Inquisition into a reinvigorated Third Inquisition. Our four kindred have explored various parts of Istanbul based on various leads and have reconvened at the former drug haven, now their base of operations in town. Kindred, the floor is yours.
Okay, guys. So we're all back. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So a big eyeball. It's so here's what happened. I went for a swim, and I saw this steel place. It's definitely the most suspicious place. That's probably our target. And there was this really weird cyber wall that was surrounding the place, kind of like a radius. And at first I was holding my own. I was pretty good, but buoyancy and hacking, you can't do them at the same time. And something got through onto my network, and it was just a big eyeball, and I tried to pretend I was just a dolphin, and it didn't buy it at all. And it definitely was oh, naughty, that's not cool. And I was like, I'm gonna leave, goodbye. But yeah, no, it's got power cables running to it from other places. It's definitely illegal. Definitely some I pulled influences to make this happen. It's some vampire shit if I've ever seen vampire shit. And I've been around a while and I've seen some vampire shit.
So you were seen and you just came back here?
No, I definitely took a lap. Also, they saw me as a dolphin. They didn't see me as me. Ultimate disguise. Obfuscate, never heard of her.
I'm not sure that... I guess...
I second that.
Kind of wouldn't be saying. Yeah. I got confirmation at the very least that there is technology that's being handled coming in and out of that aforementioned steel mill. I think it would make the most sense to try and contact one of the barons of the city. I hear they run the nightclubs, to try and secure some type of passage.
Funny you should mention that. I checked out the nightclubs, and I actually met the Baron. He is...
What do you look like?
He's audacious as shit. Gold head to toe. It was absolutely tacky.
Was he probably a Toreador too? Did you guys have a Toreador fight? That's my favorite.
He thinks I'm an Anarch and offered me resources.
Do you think we could conveniently redirect those during the time of our super cool mission?
Absolutely. I told him I was in town to paint a building that I have been commissioned to paint, so we need to fucking find a community center for me to just start throwing paint onto. But he said when I do that, let him know, and he will make sure that I have security around my area. So if we know
security he can't send to that warehouse.
Exactly.
I'm on your wave. What'd you do, Doc, besides one piece of information?
Kynan will just stare at you and say nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, Hayes, what'd you do?
Not a hell of a lot. I found 3D printers and sad interns.
Oh, poor guy. Did you eat him?
No, I
Oh, it
think
was
his life
free
is miserable
food.
enough as it is.
The
He
kiss
wasn't
was
my
fantastic.
taste.
You could have given him a little bit of a sucky.
I don't think he'd have liked my sucky.
Oh, does yours hurt? Sometimes that happens. Luck of the draw. Speaking of sucky, I'm starving. Not really, but you know, I'm gonna go for a snack. Anyone
There
wanna-
is another piece of information.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
exactly sure how far the dislike will spread, but I have a bit of a history with certain sects of Anarchs. They approached me in an effort to have me work for them through the black market to begin implanting cybernetics into various kindred, as I understand our biology to a high degree. I'm not exactly sure if any of them will be here, but at the very least, I wanted you all to be aware.
That would have been nice to know, like a while ago. But I'm
You
glad
know
you're coming
now.
forward now, buddy. Way to be a team player.
I will leave to go get more coffee.
Well, you can get coffee. I can go get a something. Anybody else hungry?
I'm good for now. I just need to figure out where I'm going to paint so that we can have our little distraction.
That can be your job. I'm gonna get food. Hayes, what are you doing?
I'll follow Riot and make sure it all goes all right.
All right, sick. Doctor, you want to come get food? I'll take it as a yes. Come on, let's go.
And I will assume that Kynan is then pulled by Jones.
Yes, just yeeted right away.
All
More
right.
of a reverse eat.
So let's start with Riot and Hayes. Riot, how are you going about locating a community center?
I'm first going to search on the internet for community centers, or just like whatever our future equivalent of the Y is.
You do find about 7 different options. Are you looking for anything in particular in terms of location, size, etc.?
I'm looking for whichever one looks in the worst repair in the best location. Just something that somebody would want to save.
Absolutely. You have a couple of options at your disposal. You have the Yusura Community Center, which it's in a nice location. It's not in the worst repair, however, but it is on effectively the opposite side of Istanbul from where the steel mill was. And you have the Merketsi Community Center, which is in a nicer part of town. It's not an awful repair, but it looks a bit more like valued than the others. That one is closer.
Closer, but what's its distance from the steel mill?
It is, I'd say it's a few miles, not as far as the Yusura, but still within travel distance, quicker than Yusura.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Hayes and just, what do you think? I need somewhere that I lied and told him that it was a job to preserve a community center. He fucking bought it. But this one is further across town and will pull them further. But this one's a little bit closer, but looks a little more like the lie I told.
I'd go with the closer one. He's more likely to pull security off the nearby detail than to send security even farther away.
Makes sense. All right.
And if you want him to send a lot of security here, you should start the job and then have someone fuck it up, break a bunch of windows, slash your painting all up, then complain to him.
Okay. You up for doing
Means
a
there's
little damage?
More than happy to oblige.
All right. And gonna check. Does anyone currently own this building?
It is community owned, so there is a sort of a co-op situation with this.
Okay.
One that you could assume that if you were to just start doing something there and make it like not look like you're trying to be secret about it, it would probably take people a while to figure out that none of them called you.
Okay. I am going to look at Hayes and go, all right, I'm going to get started tonight. I'm going to make it a special one-time Istanbul-only appearance. You know, those little pop-up shows. And I'll get to work. And I'll let the Baron know when I'm on my way. And then give me about couple hours maybe, or an hour, and then fuck some shit up. I imagine me doing a public painting will also hopefully draw a crowd too, so that should give you guys some cover. After you fuck some shit up, join the others, do what needs to be done.
All right.
Knew I could count on you.
Here to help.
You hate this, don't you?
I don't hate it, but this isn't my jam. I don't do the cover story. I'm too good to need a cover story. You go in, you get it, you get out.
I believe that.
Why are you here?
Free trip to Istanbul.
Home of the graffiti artists?
Could be. If the art's good enough, you can inspire art anywhere.
Oh, I wouldn't know enough to argue with that sentiment if I wanted to.
Oh, please. You're a work of art yourself.
You know, when Toreador say that, I know you think you mean it nicely, but it's still just an insult.
No, you take it as an insult because you're a Nosferatu.
I feel like we're hitting the same wall with that compliment insult thing here.
No, you see, as a Nosferatu, when I pay you a genuine compliment, you're so used to people being shitty to you that you're going to automatically read it as shitty, even when I'm actually trying to tell you that you're cute. But okay, let's go.
Hayes appears truly shocked by this and follows her in silence, trying to figure out where the insult was in that.
And you're heading across town?
Yeah, I'm going to gather my messenger bag and just load as much paint into it as possible, intending to be there all night or until they tell me otherwise. And I am also going to send a ping to the group of the location of the club where the Baron is.
Mm-hmm.
And just let them know, like, this pin is where the Baron is.
Okay. For storyteller note, are you filling the group in on what your intended plan is, or are they going to roll with it?
Yeah, I'm just telling them, gonna fake a public art show, draw the Baron's resources to me, don't come looking for me.
And you get you all get the general gist of that. Now, oh yes,
I add, I'm with Riot, just so they're not expecting me.
and yeah, you get the general gist of that as well. And as they head on over to enact this part of the plan tonight, we'll cut back over to Jones and Dr. Kynan, with Jones on the hunt, more or less.
Jones hunts like any predator in the wild hunts by stalking. So Jones is looking for an alley. Maybe someone's taking a shortcut at night. Specifically, they want them walking away from Jones down this alley, and Jones wants to swim up behind them and follow them.
Okay.
And that's the general what we're looking for here for our late night snack.
Then let's go ahead. For that kind of pursuit, along with your predator type.
I have an intimidation in stick-ups as well.
You do, yes. Before we get to that, though, in order to do what you're aiming to do, let's go with whips and streetwise to track your prey down.
That's 2. And
Can I also? I have no plans to feed, but I want to also be keeping an eye out for anything that I think they might enjoy. Anyone that I think they might enjoy.
Go ahead and do a general wits awareness, since you're not quite sure what in particular Jones is looking for, unless they're communicating it to you.
I have 2 critical successes and a regular success. So that's
That is 5 total.
5.
That makes 5 critical.
Only 2 over here.
Only 2. Dr. Kynan, you become increasingly distracted with your usual routine of just monitoring people and mentally diagnosing them. Jones, however, not quite as interested in that, more interested in charting where people are going. And there are quite a lot of side streets in this part of town that you've wandered into, to where it takes no time at all to spot people cutting through an alley to get between buildings to another place, sort of sporadically. And you find the one that has had the fewest people go through it, but on a regular enough basis that you can expect somebody to go through it.
Okay. So Jones' plan of attack is to kind of like stake out kind of close to the entrance. Someone turns in, Jones waits and turns in after them.
Okay. And Dr. Kynan, what will you be doing while Jones is staking out like this?
I will. I'm just gonna follow Jones's lead and watch how they do this and follow them into the alley.
Sounds good. And it takes maybe 20 minutes for the next person to head down that way. They look extremely tired at this point in the evening. Like they just really want to go back home. They're done with whatever it was that they're doing. They smell vaguely of smoke. Hard to tell what kind of smoke it is, but wherever they were, it was full of it.
Gotcha.
And they are walking in your general direction and then just quick hook down the alleyway.
Okay, as they walk down the alleyway, I'm going to wait a little bit, turn my corner, and pursue after them. At first at a slow pace, and then very quickly and very suddenly, as if a dolphin is swimming up on something to attack it, swiftly walk up to run, grab person, and then start the feeding process. I'm going to grab them, basically mouth cover so they don't scream, tilt, chomp, drain as much as I can as quickly as possible, and toss.
Go ahead and do a strength and brawl roll for me, and I'll see if they...
A strength brawl.
Yeah, I'll see if they even notice that you're coming.
2, 3... Boop. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Yeah, they don't even see you coming. So this poor sod is just walking down, counting the steps to his apartment. And suddenly he's not walking forward anymore. He's careening backwards into your grip as you sink your fangs into the fleshy part on his neck and start pulling. How much are you pulling?
I am pulling enough to crush one my current. I've got 2. I want to crush 1.
Okay, so you're pulling 1 hunger down from him.
Yeah.
All right. And then once you pull that 1 hunger, what are you planning on doing?
As the kiss has very fun magical properties, which includes bliss, I'm just going to toss him to the side and scoot out of the alley as if I was never there.
And you do that. He stumbles to the side. Jones escaping the alley. Eventually, when he comes to, he'll notice the smudge of blood on his neck, thinking maybe he must have nicked himself at some point.
I did lick it. It has been sealed.
Yeah, but it's a bit messy still.
That's fine.
But he's not bleeding out from the neck, which is a very good point. Yeah. and Jones is back down to 1 hunger. Now, Jones and Dr. Kynan, you know Riot and Hayes is part of the plan. So what will you be doing while this is going down?
I go back to the doctor to come up with a plan, and I go, so, Brains, what you got? 'Cause apparently you had a problem with me getting caught by the eyeballs. How do you want to go attack the eyeball?
You're a very sloppy eater.
I'm I'm a dolphin, right? You know I'm a gangrel, that's like
The plan will be to approach the steel mill, likely quietly.
I could do that.
I was hoping to speak to the Baron myself, but it appears the chance to has passed. I can either, it makes no difference to me, but I can either approach from the front and offer my services, essentially, as a way to get inside the facility and get a bit of a tour. Or I can swim.
You could ride me. Come on, dolphin experience, like at the resorts.
Is there an entrance through the waterways?
It's kind of an open situation. It's kind of just like open with these little gaps in the wall or spotlights. It's very open air. It's not like a building. It's like half a building that they like started.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Jones, from your observation, it would be a little bit of a climb up, like up the coast over some like broken wall.
I could do a dolphin jump.
But it's easy to get through.
I'll do a dolphin jump.
Well, there's not water inside the base, so that one's up to you at that point. But you could definitely get in.
Mm-hmm.
Kynan will very grumpily take off his glasses and start like tying his hair into like one, so that it's just one tail, and go, it would be foolish to do otherwise.
Dolphin experience, baby. Let's go.
And Kynan will follow.
Yep. So Jones just walks down to the ocean, almost skipping, just excited. We're gonna go swimming. Also, Doc, what's your deal with like not liking cybernetics? Do you got like traumatic past?
No. There's just no reason to improve upon perfection.
Ugh, you're so boring. I bet Riot's got trauma. I bet we could talk to Riot about cool trauma. Whatever. I bet Hayes has trauma. We were related. Whatever. You're boring. Come on, let's go. Dolphin experience.
Kynan will follow, and just like the whole way there is just a stone wall for any of that. It's just like won't even give you an inch of like, come on.
Excited that they try to hold your hand.
No. If necessary, I'll use Cat's Grace or Fleetness to prevent any type of touching before we get to the point.
And that is a free action, so you absolutely can. While Jones is attempting a bit of bonding, Riot and Hayes make it over to the community center, the Marchesi, and it's not a whole lot of people around this part of town. Looks like they're probably more so towards the entertainment areas at this part of the evening. It's a bit late or early, depending on what part of day you exist in.
What is the current political climate of this area?
Human political or kindred
Human.
political?
Human.
It's always in some kind of turmoil. Given its rough proximity, there are various insurgent groups that believe that things could be done better, that things have become too Western. Then there are those who think that things are not progressive enough, and want to make things more progressive, whatever that may mean, to whatever extent that may mean.
Okay. I am going to text the Baron and say, got my location early, and drop him the location. And I am going to get started doing a painting of bullets, but around every bullet is tied a pride flag and a flower in matching colors. Just a bouquet of them on the side of the building.
Very nice. You get a text. You get a text back from the Baron. It says like good luck, international celebrity. Followed up by have to oversee a job. Can send 1 or 2 your way.
And I'll just reply back, thanks, I'll let you know if I need anything else.
And he replies back, I'll send 1 or 2 your way. And end of text.
Okay.
While
Right.
she gets busy painting, I'm gonna kind of meander around the crowd, just sort of whispering into groups like, what's happening over there? Did you see that?
Are you obfuscated, or are you just walking up to people and whispering at them?
Just kind of, sidling up to groups, standing there for a second, drawing their attention. So no, not obfuscated, just
Okay.
being a shit disturber.
Wonderful. It's not a massive crowd at the moment, but there are still like a couple people here. There's like a group that's like walking down the street in the opposite direction, and you're definitely able to draw some eyes. Let me see how many people actually want to pay attention to you walking around in the middle of the night, though. You get a decent amount of them. There's some that really don't care. They think that maybe you're going to ask for money, but most of them will turn and look, and they'll see somebody painting and like, oh, and they'll stop. They can spend a few minutes just watching someone do art. That's free. It's fun.
Do I need to roll for my art?
With your level of skill due to your lore sheet and dots, I'll say even if you just take half, you're probably fine.
Okay.
I will say though that if you want to draw a bigger crowd, you could always do more than just
Well, I'm gonna kick on some music, play a little bit of Run the Jewels, get me in the mood for painting, and I'll use my dot and fame to kind of showboat a little bit who I am. So in that way, people kind of want to stop and at least watch for a little bit.
And some people stop. They have an appreciation for classic hip hop at this point, and they're watching you paint.
Awesome.
They're watching you paint, and they're watching you paint. And Hayes is doing some minor field work. At this point, anybody that catches eyes with Hayes and then sees the painting assumes that it's part of the thing. And while this is going on, we'll kick back over to the budding relationship of Jones and Dr. Kynan as they make their way down to the riverfront.
So, I was thinking, Doc, you could hold on my shoulders. I could do a cool flip, and then you could flip into the water with me. Or if you're not up to that, we could just you could just climb on.
Is a flip necessary?
Yes. I can't transform unless I do a cool flip.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll Wits Insight. And Jones, if you're trying to lie about this, Composure Subterfuge.
I don't have any of those.
I mean, my wits insight is pretty bad too, so.
I got no subterfuge. Do you got another stat I can add to that, or just
I'd say Composure Subterfuge.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I can do composure. I have 3 of those. I do not lie. I intimidate my way to victory. That's 2 successes. Not bad.
So I got a bloody critical.
So you got a messy critical?
You messy critical, yes.
Okay,
So 4 total.
4 messy critical. So that's definitely more than Jones's 2.
Yes.
And Dr. Kynan, you can tell that Jones is absolutely over-exaggerating just how cool this could be. And it starts sort of needling at you of just how much more they're over-exaggerating. And, you could let your mind wander on that. Are they over-exaggerating about what they saw? Was it even that big of an eye? Did they just suddenly get caught, or did they slip up? Did they lean into it too much? Could go a
Kynan will
number of
stop
ways.
and look at Jones and say, Jones,
Yeah.
I am not one for hyperbole. I do not want to be here. I would much rather be back at my haven with my patients. And you are running thin on what little patience I do have to be in this place.
Okay, so I'm running you thin and you don't want to be here. I think you forget we're supposed to be a coterie. We're supposed to be buddies. We're supposed to, like, you know, have each other's backs. And you're the one, I don't want to be here. This sucks. Don't touch me. You know what? I'm sick of your fucking attitude. Can I do an intimidation?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and roll, let's call it charisma intimidation. Unless you're being physical about it.
No, I'm just being variable. One, two successes. Despite my lots of dice.
Considering the messy crit that Dr. Kynan rolled earlier, you're very noisy. He gets the message. He's not exactly intimidated by it, but he gets the message.
We're not a coterie. We're 4 kindreds stuck together for a mission. And Kynan will continue walking.
All right. And when you get to the riverfront, how are you getting into the area? The two of you.
This is going to do a sick flip without the doctor.
All right. And Dr. Kynan, are you swimming over on your own?
Yes, I'll take my shoes off and my socks off and then get into the water.
Jones, go ahead and roll for your rouse check for shape change. And Dr. Kynan, let's call it Dex Athletic. Actually, let's call it Stamina Athletics, since swimming is a bit of an endurance run. All right. Dolphin hops into the water and swims towards the appropriate destination.
Jones is gonna like swim to the doctor and kind of like offer a fin, just kind of turn sideways and be like, you can take it or not.
I'll take the fin.
Okay, and then don't even have to roll for it at that point. Dr. Kynan and Jones will swim over towards the opening that they saw so that you two can make your way into the steel mill. And back across town, Riot, you're painting. It's going very, very well.
Do I feel? I would say I'm probably getting close to being done. Do I see the helpers from the Baron?
You do see two. You do see like two of the men that were at the club earlier pulling up in one car.
Okay. Once they're out and about, I'm gonna just mentally send a message to Hayes that just says "Rock and Roll, Buckaroo."
Hayes has no idea what to do with the term buckaroo, but so the crowd that's started to gather here, you said that the political climate was sort of mixed. Is there some people here looking less than thrilled about the content of this mural yet?
It's hard to tell. Everybody's watching. Some seem more excited than others, but nobody looks like they're getting ready to fight necessarily. But it's hard to tell.
I'm gonna kind of make my way around the crowd a little, see if I can find anyone who are sort of doing that like off to the side discussion about, oh, that's disgusting,
You can overhear like two people. One of them is sort of giving the equivalent of what's the point in terms of conversation.
That'll probably work well enough. So I'm going to kind of sidle up behind them, and I would love to take, basically want to make like a shitty Molotov, not a good one, like a very small one that's not actually liable to do a whole lot of damage. And from behind these group who's sounding not so thrilled, I would like to whip this towards Riot's painting, but I would very much like to avoid hitting Riot herself. That's more my priority than actually hitting her painting, and yell something inappropriate.
Okay, so you're doing it within visibility of everybody else.
Yeah, but I kind of want it to look like it's coming from this little group, like I'm part of this group and we're all here to make some trouble.
We'll call it Dex Stealth, just so that it doesn't look like you specifically threw it. And Riot, while this is going on, you're stepping back, sort of admiring your work. Make me a quick Resolve Technology roll.
Okay. The eyeball. Oh, I'm not very good at that.
6.
In the middle of what Riot's doing, it hits, and it's hard to tell where it came from because they're a bit buried back in the crowd of people, but it definitely came from that general direction, and it hits and smashes against the wall, and spreads. And Riot, how much did you just get?
3.
3? The moment that the fire hits, your vision goes white, and you see something that looks kind of like what Jones described, that eye, and you just get a very quick echoey voice of, are you going to let your friends have all the fun? Or are you going to come say hi? As it all goes away.
I don't like this.
So after that, I'm a bit shaken, but the fire is more concerning at the moment.
Mm-hmm. You're far enough away that I won't make you roll a frenzy check on it.
Yeah, but it's enough of a, oh, fuck. That wasn't what I expected you to do.
As you glance over, you do see the people that pulled up from the club, like digging into the trunk, like they're looking for something to put it out.
Yeah, and I'm going to quick shoot a text to the Baron that says, think I got hit by some civil unrest. I'm going to take cover. Keep your guys over here just in case. And I am going to book it and send a mental message to Hayes with the location of Jones, which I have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because I've been chipped.
yep, just with a, we need to go.
All right. And Taser, you're gonna run a lot as well.
Yeah.
All right. You make it out. You make it out, and Riot, as you're running, you get a quick ping back from Baron that says +4. That's all it says.
Okay. And reply just says, minor boon, thanks.
As these two are racing towards the mill, Jones, Dr. Kynan, you're inside. Where are you going? What are you looking for? What are you trying to find? You're looking for something potentially holding artificial intelligence.
Jones is going to use their technology prowess and my inherent cybernetics in my brain, courtesy of the US government, to reach out and find and see if I can hear the AI. Because I know in a weird cyberpunk future, sometimes the AI will talk to you because it's kind of like a god.
While Jones is doing that, Kynan is going to start going through the medical suitcase that he brought, and I'm going to put on my my surgeon's coat, and put the glasses back on, and I'm gonna try and use the lab coat theory to try and like keep anyone necessary away from Jones while they're doing their thing.
Okay. Jones, go ahead and roll your intelligence, technology, and hacking. And since you're going for a talking sort of thing, go ahead and add your couple of dots of spiderweb into it.
Okay. Okay. Got that. Okay.
And Dr. Kynan, go ahead and make me a wits awareness
Okay.
while this is going on.
1, 2, 3. 3.
3?
Wait.
Yeah,
3.
3. You hit that wall again, but it's one of those things where you get a better sense of where the wall is. It's not going to talk to you, but you get the sense that, you get the sense that you can branch out, you can reach out, except when you go up, it just sort of hits a ceiling. But out is fine. And Dr. Kynan, what did you roll?
I got a critical failure.
So 1 on the hunger die and 0 the round. You can spend a willpower to re-roll up to 3 of your other dice.
It's a one shot. Let's see what happens.
Okay. You're doing that paranoia thing again, where you're wondering if Jones is even doing anything right now. Are they just sitting here? Are they just pretending the whole way through. You're so fixated on it, it takes you a second to even realize that somebody said something behind you until they repeat themselves to you. Did you hear a voice going, "Can I help you?"
I don't believe so. No.
And a hand grabs you on the shoulder and whirls you around as you face a man in a gold suit, shaved bald head with a gold earring. He goes, "No, really. Can I help you?"
And Kynan was given the description of the Baron, right?
Yes, you were.
And Kynan will actually go, "Oh, actually, you're the only person here who can. Dr. Kynan." And I'll extend a hand.
He doesn't even look at it and just goes, "You'll probably want to explain what you're doing in my building."
Yes, I am here poking holes in your security. It's one of many services that I offer. I am here to offer you a unique stance on kindred biology to assist with these cybernetic implants that this warehouse is producing. You should also try and keep a closer lid on what exactly is going on here.
And he looks at you and goes, "I do think that you have the wrong idea of what we do here. But I also do think that if you show me these holes, I can throw you back out them."
Hearing this, Jones would like to whip around, releasing the samurai sword,
Oh.
and just kind of just attack this fucker.
Oh,
At
Lord
this
have
point-
mercy.
You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a, let's call it a strength and melee. roll.
I want the stream to know that Kynan is not a fan of Jones. I love Jones with every fiber of my being.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
3 successes. Great.
Wait, hang on. What was the pool again?
It was a strength and melee.
Oh, whoops. Hang on, I gotta roll one more.
Okay.
3 successes.
3 successes. Great. He sees you coming, turns, and the sword lands on his chest. Could you roll me a stamina roll, please?
Just stamina?
Let me see if you have the other stat. Stamina and fortitude, please.
Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
3. The sword lands on the Baron's chest and shatters.
Oh, my sword!
The blade actually splinters and some of this folded steel sticks into your chest as you take the dice difference 2 superficial damage, not rounded down. And he looks up at you and just goes, "Let me show you the way out." And he's going to very quickly try to grab both of you. And before we get to that, Riot, Hayes, you're running.
Reinforcements! Reinforcements!
Yeah, you're running. And you make it to the steel mill. There is one car out front. It's an Escalade. And the gate's open.
Uh-oh. And I'm gonna look at Hayes and go, "I think it's time to fight."
You any good at that?
I got enough weapons that says I'm good.
Boys will make up for a lot of missed skill. Let's give it a try.
Now see, that was a veiled comment. That's what I'm used to from Nosferatu.
And as you enter into the base, you hear the sound of metal shattering. You hear metal just pinging off of walls.
And in the background, my sword!
And in the
And
background, my sword.
I'm just going to... Can I see them in front of us?
They're a bit down a ways.
Okay, so I'm just going to, a little loudly, try and sound panicked and just, "Did you see those guys? They threw a fucking Molotov at me! Like, God, everybody's a fucking critic these days. Do you think they followed us?
Oh my god, what if they did?
Oh my God. Okay, we need to like hide.
Really quickly, Jones and Dr. Kynan make a Dex Athletics roll just to dodge what he's doing.
Do I need to have celerity active, right? I usually don't use that.
You can rouse for it. I'm not going to stop you from doing that.
My
Okay.
rouse for celerity.
Actually, never mind. Fleetness specifically says non-combat dexterity checks. So
Yep,
I
yep.
will just rose dexterity. And what were the two stats again? I'm sorry.
Dex Athletics.
Gotcha.
What? Looking like garbage.
Okay. Now I will use a willpower, and I'll
Okay,
reroll.
burning willpower to reroll up to 3 dice that are not hunger dice.
Yep. So that is 3 successes.
3 successes, 2 successes. He grabs Jones pretty firmly around the spot where the metal went in and just pushes it in more. It doesn't cause more damage, but it hurts. Dr. Kynan, his fingers like loop into the lab coat. He doesn't have a firm grip on you, but he definitely has you. As he pulls you, he stops because he hears Riot's voice. Just looks at the two of you and goes, "Hmm. Why don't we see who's dropping in?" And he's going to attempt to pull you both towards the board.
Can I spin out of the coat and redirect his call to human resources?
You can make a Dex Athletics to
Okay.
go ahead and spin out, and if you succeed in that with your fleetness up, then you can go ahead and immediately do the next action.
Dope. Good. That's 2 successes. It's good for 3 dice. I guess I should specify that.
That's fair. Let's see. Unfortunately, that is not enough to spin out of the grasp, but it's enough to pull you back enough that if you wanted to try to introduce him to human resources, you probably could. You'd just still be held on by him.
Yes, I will take out my oversized silver pistol and fire it at his face.
Dex and firearms, please.
Can do that for you. Let's go ahead and re-roll that one.
Yep, it's a one shot by all means.
Introduce him to human resource.
That is 5 successes.
5
2
successes.
crits.
Let me go ahead and
Spicy.
there's 5 crit. You said.
Yeah, yes, it's 5 with a crit.
Okay. He is going to take 2 ag damage to the face and let go of both of you, as he is not expecting to meet human resources in such a hostile work environment.
Helps.
And Riot and Hayes, you hear a gunshot.
And I'm just going to give my best girly scream and get my taser in one hand and my pistol in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, did you hear that? There's something going on in here. Stay close to me.
Okay. And I want to take my my cling and adhere it, and I would like to go up the wall and onto the ceiling.
Okay, so Hayes pulls out a vial with a spider print on it and sprays onto her palms and the soles of her feet, and does something that usually only the Tremere can do, and clings to the wall with haptic cling as she moves up the wall, while I assume Riot is moving forward on the ground.
Yeah, I'm moving forward super quickly and just, in my girliest, just, is everyone okay in here? I will shoot someone.
And by the time you make it over there, you see what is unmistakably the Baron that you met earlier, holding his face with a muffled scream, as Dr. Kynan is standing with a almost anime-sized gun in his hand. And Jones has what looks like pieces of their former swords sticking out of their chest. You can probably gather that from the hilt that's still in their hand.
And I'm going to quickly send a mental message of just fucking go with it. And I'm going to run up, Baron! And I'm going to pull him back away from them. Just, Baron, are you okay?
And he is screaming, and he is trying to claw out of your grip to get at these two. So go ahead and make
as he's as he's doing that, I'm going to
Yes.
use rapid reflexes
Uh-huh.
to put my gun to his temple and pull the trigger 4 times.
Go ahead and make your Dex firearms for that.
Okay.
Man, this kicked off really fast, chat. this went from like we're painting to
Ooh.
0 to 100 in one dolphin leap.
You know what they say? Be gay and do crime.
What kind of gun do you have
We
again?
handled at least a few of those.
I took that MK with intention.
Yeah, you did. That's gonna wind up doing another 2 ag to him. With the difference between what you did and what he did, and yeah,
And I will
blood and
finish it
brains
all.
go sideways, followed shortly by the rest of him from the kickback of this gun.
And I will finish by jamming the taser into the bullet wound and setting it off.
And the Baron is convulsing on the ground with just a pool of blood
I would
Oozing.
like to
oozing
come
out.
claws.
What was that?
I'd like to activate my feral weapons.
You can roll to activate your feral weapons as your rouse check, but as all of this is going on, because it's quite noisy, everybody make a resolve technology roll for me, please.
My tech is so bad.
So good at this part. Oh,
2.
storyteller. That's going to be another critical failure for the good doctor.
Once again, you can re-roll using willpower.
Oh yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna.
I have so few willpower left. Okay, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. I can't reroll the hunger die.
Oh, hot dog! 2 turned into 5.
Very nice.
5.
That is 1 success.
551. And Hayes? 2.
For me.
2. Very good rolls. However, with the roll that was made here, all 4 of you see the eye. All at once.
Mm-hmm.
And just a very tired voice just goes, "Enough of this. Let him heal. Come up. I have something to show you."
I have my claws like inches from his face, and I just go, okay.
And I'm going to note that I still have 4 more rounds in the chamber. And he said come up.
Yes,
And
he said
you
come
see
He's
up.
upstairs, guys. He's upstairs.
Let me... Hunger 2, I'm going to blink up the steps.
Okay. Riot suddenly vanishes from the rest of your sight. Hayes, you're still on the wall?
Probably up on the ceiling by
Ceiling.
now.
Are you coming down to go up the stairs, or are you just going to crawl your way across?
I'm just gonna crawl my way across.
The eye hasn't gone away for you just yet. And as you do, it almost sounds amused that it goes, "Step into my parlor," the spider says to the fly.
So clever.
Now, the rest of you
Jones-
following?
Jones keeps the claws out, but doesn't really do much in the way of speed. Just kind of goes, fine. Leans down, takes the earring off the Baron, just rips it out, and then goes up the steps. Because, like, trophy, shiny. Also, not 5 humanity. Lumber up the steps.
So you all make your way up the stairs.
I'll make it into a keychain.
You all make your way up the stairs to a door. Big metal door. It's a locked door.
I look at my friends and I go, we have to give the secret knock. And I knock once.
Nothing happens.
I will look at Hayes and say, if you didn't mind.
And I will head over and do my best to open this.
Yep. And you're coming down off the wall, I imagine.
Yeah.
The haptic cling just slowly air dries on your hands as you roll Dex Larceny with lockpick.
So Hayes drops down amongst you from above.
Yes, and actually, looking at your dice pool, I will tell you that if you go with take half, you will succeed. Unless you just want to make it look really cool.
I want to make it look really cool.
Okay.
One more die. Seven.
Oh, yeah. And once again, much like the window, what locked door? Hayes looks at you, looks to the door, jimmies it, and swings the door open for the rest of you and just gestures for you to all go in. You go in. Everybody make me a quick wits awareness roll as I describe what's going on here.
Okay.
You're in the room. It's a bit dark, but you can all see. The first thing that you notice are the thick bundles of cables that run the length of the floor to a series of server racks that bookend the center of the room. There's more cables and wires strung up, grouped, and hanging, running down into a large box in the center of the room, with a wire running from the box up to what appears to be a man sitting in a chair,
Makes sense.
looking over the box. What was everybody's wits awareness? 2, 2, 0, and
6.
6.
That's my girl.
Dr. Kynan, you are. It's all a bit much, but you're getting it. The rest of you, the man in the chair is a withered husk. It actually looks like it would take a great deal of effort for him to even sit up straight, much less stand from the leather chair. And as you get closer, Hayes, with yours, you notice there's more than just one wire. It's attached to this man. There are tubes that are running from his neck and his wrist down into vats behind him with mechanical pumps attached to the floor in the chair. And if you were to point this out to Dr. Kynan, he would know what it is pretty much on sight, as he's a bit distracted.
Yeah, I'm gonna mind it to him.
Dr. Kynan, this is he's being fed blood intravenously. This is industrial medical equipment that is pumping blood. As you get closer, the man looks up at you, and two of the eyes that you saw, piercing eyes, predatory. Looks like they belong to someone that has seen a lifetime of death.
I get 2 claws ready.
And Hayes, with your high wits awareness, you notice that, amid the gaunt face, something in particular stands out, and it's the divot that just runs across his forehead. It looks like it's been gouged in. It just stands out from the rest of them. Now, if any of you have occult or academics, you can make an intelligence roll plus that. Right.
Hang on, I think the doctor is checking.
Yeah, Dr. Kynan, you have it looks like your occult and academics are the same, so I would say specifically let's go with occult. Intelligence occult.
Okay. That is 9 successes.
9 successes. So the rest of you, this is very, very strange. Just obviously, based on the description. It's even stranger for Dr. Kynan, because the man in the chair, you've seen pictures of him in old Kindred texts. Very old Kindred texts. And I will send you who it is.
Okay.
But it's a bit surprising that you would even see this person just sitting in front of you. And if you choose to share this with the group, that is your prerogative. Are you all continuing to approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah,
just
they're
gonna
back.
walk up and be extremely blunt and just go, "All right, what's this about?"
We're here
And
for
as you walk up, he stares at all of you and just looks down at the box. And in the box is a massive steel spike driven through the chest of a person. Their eyes are bracketed open, just in a solid stare. And the wire that is connected to the old man's head runs into a port on this person's head.
Yes, this checks out. This makes sense.
And this husk of a man just looks back up at all of you. In particular, over to Dr. Kynan and Hayes. Just grins, long, grayed teeth, and just goes, "So he was telling you where to go. Defiant, that one. Are you all here to do your prince's bidding?"
No, we're here to stop you from doing yours.
Yeah, we'd like to not get dead by you making the Second Inquisition a thing again. I like not being Ash.
What is it that you think you're looking for?
Probably little Boxy here.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what we're looking for?
Answers in all the wrong places, I'm afraid.
I am somehow struck with the feeling that you have answers to almost any question we would have to ask, actually.
Getting real sick of your riddles, old man.
And he looks over to Dr. Kynan. The prince has you running around looking for a computer. Yes?
Well, he could be a computer. Computer can be an identity these days. So sure, maybe we're looking for him. I think.
Perhaps.
Why don't you tell us who you are and what you're doing?
Yeah, you're a little funny looking.
And he just looks over all of you one by one to Riot, Jones, to Hayes, to Dr. Kynan.
Staring dead at him.
Go ahead and make me a composure resolve roll.
All of us?
No, just Dr. Kynan.
Closure and resolve. It's gonna be this many. Come on, you grumpy science fuck.
You can do it.
It's only 4 successes.
And he rolled an 8 critical on insight. He knows that you know. And he just looks at you and waits for you.
This is someone who gets someone who I am mistaken as being a child of quite frequently. Goratrix, they call him in some places.
Is that name supposed to mean shit to me?
Yeah.
This is Tremere, the original.
Gross.
Right.
Ooh.
All right. Answer's
let's eat 'em.
over.
Hang
Time
on,
to
hang
set
on.
some
Let's
fires.
eat him. Let's eat him now.
Seriously.
Let's
Yeah,
eat him.
No, I'm done. You're out of here.
Yeah. All right.
Let's eat him. Can we eat him?
Why
Isn't that
don't
what
you
you're
all
trying
sit-
to do?
Why
Idiot.
don't you
What,
all-
you want that?
Why don't you all just stop and sit down? And everybody please roll intelligence resolve.
I got a lot of these. Hang on.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna reroll.
5 for Hayes. 3 for Riot.
6.
6 for Jones.
Jones don't give a fuck about
That
you.
is going to be 8 critical.
8 critical. Yes.
Kynan
I also had a
will
crit.
sit down.
And
I
Kynan
also
is the,
had a
and
crit,
Kynan
yeah.
is the only, sorry, what was that, Jones?
I also had a crit, but
Okay.
that was my 6 total.
Wonderful. Kynan is the only one that sits down of their own accord. The rest of you sit down not of your own accord.
Yes.
Just immediately.
Hayes instantly looks furious.
Yeah,
That was 10 successes for those playing at home.
Jones
If-
gets nervous.
If you would forgive my compatriots, they are apparently a bit full of themselves.
we're not going to eat him. I changed my mind.
I am under no distinction that we will leave this building with anything that you do not allow us to. Though I am curious as to what exactly you believe the prince's reason for sending us here is.
Self-preservation, I imagine. So few of them understand what needs to be done.
And what is that? Why are all elders the same and talk in these fucking circles? Get to the point.
I think he's going to say something like, oh, we have to cull the herd because we're getting too big.
Oh, good. You're not
some-
stupid.
No, just bored.
I was right.
Some good old-fashioned Methuselah genocide. Gotta love
Yeah, I figured. It's on brand.
it. It is on brand, at least.
Yeah, they stick to their brand.
No, he's got to do his lecture. That's how
Right,
they
sorry.
get it off.
Villain
Sorry,
monologue.
we
Go
interrupted. Yeah, we interrupted your villain
Sorry.
monologue. Please
Villain
continue.
monologue. Sorry, go ahead.
He looks like he's considering something for a second. And just sighs and sits back.
I'll be amazed if he does not blow us up.
The only way to stop an actual Gehenna scenario is with a rival apex predator.
Yes,
And
of course.
your princes and barons don't understand that. Even that poor fuck down there doesn't understand that. He's been nice, though, supplying me with what I need. The Malkavians, in particular, are quite abundant in this city, and he gestures down at the man in the box.
You
So,
have not been eating other fucking.
Eating?
Oh.
No, please, no. I don't want their blood. I want their connection.
Oh, of course. 'cause you're
so let me get this. Let me get this straight. So you need others to survive because you're a fucking withered husk of a shit. But you also think that everyone else needs to go, and you're still crowing about Gehenna. The last time I heard that shit was 99, 100 years ago.
He's gonna explode.
And
us.
then we had the final nights, and that was Gehenna. And then some Methuselah farted, and that was the next Gehenna. And then we elected some asshole, and that was the next Gehenna. Can you guys find something new? Please.
Doomsday cults really rely on the whole like pushing that date.
Clearly.
And if your apex predator's not a T-Rex, I'm not interested in seeing it.
He's gonna
The fa-
like explode us with his mind though if we don't let him finish.
Might
And he's-
explode
and
out of
he's-
irritation.
And he's pondering, and Riot, roll your humanity for me.
Oh boy.
And
That is
It was
What
an
a good-
scary noise. That was terror.
for everyone watching, if your DM asks you to roll a single stat and it's a weird one, it's not good. that's not a good sign.
That's when the whole coterie just laughed nervously.
so that is going to be 12.
Shit.
Bam.
He will spend a willpower.
I would imagine he has a couple.
I imagine
You
he's
made
got a lot.
Tremere spend a willpower.
Yeah, and he looks and just rolls his eyes back a bit as he looks back at you again. And you feel incredibly calm. Less abrasive than you were. Less pent up. Unburdened. As this wave just washes over you. And he sighs a bit. And Hayes, with your high wits awareness from earlier, that slash mark across the top of his forehead is red now. Like it's oozing. And he looks back over and goes, Gehenna is a cycle. There's always something that steps in to keep things balanced.
Yeah, I played a video game like that once.
We let the game go on too long this time before we set something else in motion. First it was the Sabbat, and then it was the humans, and on, and then it was the other blood curse, and on, and things have gone just too long. And so, here we are again. And I thought that, and like very shakily, like one of his arms raises up and the tubes like tug at the skin. He doesn't just, it points to the man in the box. He goes, I thought that the Mirror clan here would be helpful. They are so connected. Seeing into the minds of others. The one that you met in town, points to Dr. Kinnan, particularly insightful. I know all about you.
I have a legitimate question for you, old haggard one. If we are such a plague that we must be eradicated, why are you still here? Why do you persist so far past clearly your expiration date to where you require assistance to live? Why do you continue?
In all fairness, he gestures at himself. This wasn't my choice at the time, and
So we can make a better choice for you.
if you would like to be as foolish as this one was,
I
gesturing at his body, you certainly could. I could stand to be in your skin a bit.
Yeah, if you do eat them, that could happen. Let's not do
Yeah.
that.
Dr.
Hard
Kynan.
pass.
Dr. Kynan, that roll that you made earlier, the intelligence cult, make it again. It's a lower DC this time.
I'm not saying eat him. I'm saying it sounds like you don't want to be in the state that you're in right now. And I'm asking a genuine question about if we are such a plague, why are you not leading by example and dying?
Yeah, show us the way.
And he takes a breath in.
No snark. This is a genuine, legitimate question from her. She is still in that calm state, and she means this completely.
And says, I've rested for a very long time. I was out of the equation for quite some time. And when I came back up, everybody was on the verge of tipping it all back over again. And so I have to do it again. And he looks over to Dr. Kynan.
Dr. Kynan at this point probably looks visibly nervous as he's realized who the person in the box is.
Not the person in the box. The person you're talking to.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And he, oh God, oh goodness gracious.
And he looks back over to the rest of you. If we can make this work, then I can go back to rest. Until
Yeah,
then,
like, what's the plan? Let's meet in the middle here. You want to not be a shriveled raisin. We want to get fucking paid.
You can get paid.
I want to also not get dead by Second Inquisition. That's like top priority.
Then hide and let me continue what I'm doing. You know what's going on, don't you?
Why do you think you know best? You said yourself that you were out of the equation for a very long time, so why do you know best?
To be fair, he's been around for a couple centuries at this point.
Old knowledge does not equate current knowledge.
All right, now you're starting to sound like a fucking Anarch. Come on, remember whose side you play for here.
I walk with the Camarilla because they happen to have the most coin at the point in time. I am honestly surprised by all of your chipperness in front of the dragon, Zaulot.
Oh,
As
good.
Oh, do not mistake me
It's
for
probably
Chipper.
shock. No, I'm probably in shock. This is like a defense mechanism.
I've spent my entire existence being pushed around and controlled by elders who knew better because they lived during a time completely irrelevant to our own. I survived the final nights by refusing to listen to people like you who thought laying on the train tracks was the only way. And so, pardon me if I lack a lot of compassion for yet another elder trying to push me onto the train tracks.
Girlfriend's got a point.
And he very weakly shrugs. He goes, "If you want to survive, then you know what is being done and you know how to avoid it."
What's to stop us from taking our new little PC in the box here, home with us, and ripping all your cables apart and obliterating you from orbit or some shit?
Nothing. But then you'll all die.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the dragon Zaulot or the traitor?
Ha, ha.
Out of all of us, I wasn't expecting you to sass him.
It's not
And he looks Dr. Kinnan straight in the eyes and just goes, "Just Zaulot will do."
Really? And is this how the great Zaulot plans to spend the rest of his days? Giving tools to the enemy to dismantle us?
I plan to go back to sleep and let what kindred survives continue to survive in balance. You can pull all of my cables and you can take this one, and if I'm found before I wither away, then I'm sure another Malkavian will do. Anatoly is rather versatile. He'll find his way back.
So you woke up, doomed all of us, and want to go right back to your little nap.
Sounds
I'm
like an
dooming-
elder.
Dooming some of you.
Yeah, see, in my experience, the time of the elders is over.
Wow. All right then. Fuck my side.
Well then, seems we're at an impasse. You can rip it all down and hope that you all don't turn to eating each other by the end of it. The end of your existence, not the end of the night.
The tower will always survive.
No, it won't, you foolish child.
Mm.
Much like the
Yeah, I'm freezing.
much like the ruins outside, the tower will stay, but nobody will be in it anymore. A
So
monument of nothingness.
I know what cables are intravenously feeding him blood, correct?
Yeah, they're the ones running to the mechanical pumps behind him.
I will go over to the mechanical pumps and say, and I suppose we should get back to enjoying our position at the top of the food chain while we have time. And I will
Bingo.
cut them.
Nice.
And blood
As-
just splurts all over. It's all over you. It's all over the floor. It's all over him.
I'll drink some of it.
And as he does that, I passed my rouse check.
Uh-huh.
I am going to blink behind him.
Mhm.
Take both of my blades and essentially saw off his head.
Okay, go ahead and make the Dex and melee roll.
That one is Dex and Athletics for the blink, or do you want melee? For
You're not going to trip over anything for the blink, so it's Dex and melee to actually cut him.
Can I use rapid reflexes to grab little PC man in a box?
Yeah, you certainly can.
I just want to snatch him up before he
Okay, the
gets all-
entire box moves because he is staked to the box.
Yeah,
the
I'm
thing
just
just goes
taking the whole
ka-chunk.
thing. Taking the entire thing.
Hayes, while all this is happening, are you doing anything or are you watching?
Did we drag the Baron in here, or did we leave him
We
outside?
left him.
I believe you left him out there.
We left him.
Um,
Into his face wounds.
6 critical.
Okay.
I want to take a quick look outside and make sure that we're not about to get ambushed from behind here.
Pretty sure we're gonna get
Go ahead and make a wits awareness roll.
5.
5. You do not see anybody else outside at all. You just see the one car that's out there. That was the
Okay.
Baron's car.
His car, yeah. Let's take his car.
Okay. So you rolled 6 successes, Riot, to saw off the head.
Yep. 6 critical.
6 critical. So as you do that, he lolls his head back and looks at you as if to give you more neck to do it. And as you're cutting, go ahead and make a Wits Resolve roll for me.
Okay.
I bet he smells delicious.
Is he showing any signs of ashing while I'm sawing?
Not yet. You haven't quite made it through.
Woo. Let me re-roll. Fuck it, we're in a one shot.
Mhm.
So that is going to be. The 10s always mess me up.
Yep.
Man.
7.
Oof. Beat out by 1.
Uh,
You continue to saw. As you do, he looks back at you. And then he slowly leans forward to the, looking down at the box that Jones is pulling, and you continued through, and you feel something in your mind as you're sawing. Like a presence is there, as if he's watching you kill him as you kill him. And he just stares at the person in the box.
and I'm just gonna grumble, all elders are the fucking same.
Oh, that's so
And
not
as
good.
the knife pulls through flesh and muscle right before it hits bone, the skin just begins to flake. And flake and flake. And what bit of husk of this man was there just crumbles like a stack of snow just being hit by an errant child.
I hate this.
Once the chair is empty of a body, more or less, Riot's gonna take out the brightest color that she has, probably a neon yellow spray paint, and spray paint the Camarilla symbol onto his chair. And then I am going to use traversal to go onto the wall behind him and spray paint "The Tower Will Endure."
Okay. As you're doing that, Dr. Kynan is making a roll, I believe.
At this point, Riot's just blind with anger.
Okay. I've responded to Dr. Kynan's roll. Dr. Kynan is staring at this very intently, this exchange that happens, and it's off. Something's off. You can't tell what it is, but something is off. And Jones has pulled the box away. The cable is no longer attached to anything. It's sort of dangling. And the chair is full of ash. And you have one torpid Malkavian in a
I
box.
look at my little box friend and I go, I'm gonna put you at the bottom of the ocean and no one's ever gonna find you. Ever.
That's hopeful.
I'm gonna swim down there
can I-
myself.
Can I loot the Baron for his car keys?
On the way out, yeah. On your way out, yes. They're very easy to find.
Hey, let's get the fuck out of
I
here.
agree. Let's get the hell out of here.
Good plan.
Let's
And
fight right off.
I'm gonna come
Ash-
up next to Riot to make sure that she's copus mentis enough to realize we're leaving.
Yeah, no, she's good by now. Once she finished spray painting, she dropped down and put her paint away, and she nods to Hayes and gets the back of her head and presses her forehead to Hayes's forehead and then starts to leave.
I go, damn, y'all really do move fast. All right then.
I don't want Riot to walk in front of me. I
Okay.
want to be behind Riot all the time.
Okay. All right. And you all exit. And you feel accomplished in your mission. Jones deposits the box with the Malkavian into the ocean. You make your way back the next night to report in. The prince is grateful for what you've done. Do you disclose all of the details of what happened, or do you just simply give mission accomplished?
I would strongly caution against it.
I just
Yeah, no.
Mission accomplished.
all done. Can I?
Riot,
continue
Riot
with
says
you?
nothing.
All right. You are all granted life boons, one apiece.
I use it to buy fruit snack.
And she just gestures, and he
Wow,
just
fruit
just-
snack!
and he'll exit out with Jones,
I
and
get
you
fruit
are all free to go your separate ways, wherever you wish. The world, what's left of it, if Zalot is to be believed, is yours. A week later, Dr. Kynan, make me a resolve and technology roll.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
My resolve in technology is so bad.
snack.
I gotta use my last willpower.
By all means.
Hey, that's better. 4 successes.
All
Or
right.
4, technically.
About a week later, something feels strange. Just edges of your mind. And you hear a voice. Crystal clear. Clear as when you heard it in Istanbul. Marcus. And he says, and there's a bit of a ragged edge to his voice at this point. He says, I'll be seeing you around at some point then. Won't I? Assuming that, the world doesn't end.
So long as you remember who wasn't foolish enough to stand against you.
Hopefully we'll see you on the other side. And the connection cuts. And that's where we're going to call Vampire 2099.
Motherfucker.
And Hayes and
Fantastic.
Riot lived happily ever after.
For as long as Riot is Riot, yep.
I'd like to thank all of you for playing and all of you out there for watching. We hope that you enjoyed this Cyberpunk V5 one-shot. We're going to go around and let our players tell you a bit about what they are up to in the modern nights, as opposed to the far-flung future. And we'll go in reverse order, starting with Ellie Collins.
Hey, I am Ellie Collins. I am the storyteller for ATL by Night, a V5 campaign set in the city of Atlanta. We are currently in our 5th season. You can catch us on twitch.tv/ATL by Night. And if you haven't watched us before, you can catch up with our recap show Bite Notes on our YouTube channel. So just search ATL by Night on YouTube. You can also catch me on Twitter at Ellie_A_Collins. You can catch me on a variety of games here on Gehenna Gaming, as well as a whole bunch of other projects that I have coming up. Yeah, this has been super fun. I have never played a volatile, angry character before, and I like causing problems. Thank you guys, and thank you for your donations to Lost and Found Youth. It's a wonderful center here in Atlanta, and they do so much good.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank Ellie for suggesting this charity for you all to donate to. They are really wonderful, and please do give what you can. Moving over to Elise Hawes.
Hello, I'm Elise Hawes. You can catch me at Elise Hawes, ELYSEHEWS, on almost all my socials, Twitter, Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Skipper54. But I have a much more important, very cool thing I want to talk to you about. If you like sci-fi, if you like cyberpunk, if you like narrative podcast, episode 1 of this podcast I've worked on for 4 years now just dropped today. It's called Epsilon. It's just at Epsilon Podcast on all the social media, literally everywhere. Just check out, our link tree. It's on Spotify. Easiest way to find the podcast is just go to the Twitter, click on the link tree. It's the first link you see. It just says listen to Epsilon. It is about basically when you tune in and when you hear it, it is, where's my little cheat sheet? Okay, got it. So it's you join the last line rebels as they fight to take back their city from the oppressive Nova Lords. And as you listen to it, it's like you're listening to a radio station, and it's like you're in the city of Epsilon. So it's really immersive, really cool, really fun. I'm super proud of my team that worked on it. So if you're into cool sci-fi stuff, like cyberpunk stuff, like dystopian futures, please check out at Epsilon Podcast on all the social media. First episode just dropped today, so yay! Also, I am a gay myself, so donating to gay people is kind of a thing we should do. So yeah, definitely like help people out who are less fortunate, and also people who just need a hand in this trying time that we all still live in for some reason. Yay! That's it.
Could anyone hear Zach there? I could not.
Oh, that's because my microphone is muted, and we're going to go and move on to Lex, who is kind enough to speak up for me.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Lex. I was Hayes. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at _redhead_vixen. You can also find my Patreon and my OnlyFans under Redhead Vixen. You can catch me on Saturdays, and you may well have actually come from Vancouver adjacent by night to here, where you already saw me. So you can see me there on Saturdays. I'm also going to be launching a couple of my own shows later in the summer. I will be launching Skin Deep, my super gory horror game that I'm going to be running. I will also be appearing in Literature and Lingerie on the Vancouver by Night channel, where I will be reading public domain horror in my ASMR voice. And most excitingly for me, my second book has actually just come out. You can get it on Instagram Canada or Amazon Canada or Amazon US. It is a lot of fun. It's a really cool book about female empowerment and regaining your personality and finding purpose in life in middle age. And the whole thing is wrapped up in an awesome tale about sexy vampires and sexy demons. So check it out if you like female empowerment or sexy supernatural creatures. And this was my first charity stream. So thanks everyone who donated. It was super exciting, and it was awesome to see you all in the chat. So I hope to see you guys again soon.
And we're rounding it out with D.
Oh, hello. My name is D. I have been Dr. Kinnan for this evening. Thank you all so much for coming out to watch. I am a voice actor, streamer, musician, professional GM with Magpie Games. If you are interested in joining up for the signups for the Avatar TTRPG, those are officially live, and you can get into a playtest game and come check that out with us. On Mondays, you can catch me over on Critical Misses, where I play Ade Zuko in the Roll20 Spotlight show Kingsguard, which is a D&D 5e campaign. On Wednesdays, you can catch us for the final episode, the finale of our Vampire the Masquerade chronicled Under the Pale Cold Sun, wherein I am the storyteller. And then on Fridays, you can catch me over on the Fey Realm, where I'm also the narrator for a Mask the New Generation game called Tales from the Amazing Ages. And lastly, on Sundays, you can catch me over on Chaotic Pod's Twitch channel, where I play Odias, a aberrant mind sorcerer who is just the weirdest fucking person in the world. This was an absolute blast. Thank you all so much for watching, and you can follow me on Twitter at itstheriddler if you want some voiceover commissions.
Real quick, because I forgot something of mine that's very important. In July, July 9th, I am hosting a Jasper's Game Day charity game. It is my D&D module that I've run for my home game called the Queen's Carnival. So if you want to see a bunch of cool D&D people playing carnival games and then fighting a big, massive fight in a set piece that I will actually have on the stream, please donate. You can also bid for one of the seats in the game. So you can bid to be a part of the game, and you can watch and help us raise money for Jasper's Game Day.
Having played it, it is a really cool set piece and a really fun game. So definitely do bid on that. Definitely do watch that. I've been your storyteller, Zachary Vaudo. You can find me with Ellie on ATL by Night on Tuesdays. You can find me with Lex on Vancouver Adjacent on Saturdays. You can find me on Gehenna whenever they have me do things. You can also find me in July for Jasper's Game Day on the 10th, I believe it is. I'll be playing in a D&D game that is run by Dustin Fletcher of D4. There's some really amazing folks in it. And I am also in another one that I'm forgetting because this game has gone for almost 4 hours, and it is that's right. I'm going to be on Sunday, in a game that's being run by Joe Cat, who some of you may know from the Crap Guide to D&D, Monster Hunter videos, etc. Two very wonderful folks. I already know the concept for that game. It is precious. I love it. It'll be a blast. And then you can find me on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle over that way. Some housekeeping for Gehenna Gaming. On Monday, Gehenna Academy is going to be going on with Monday Night Monster Hearts. On Friday, we're looking at V5 Dark Ages, going much further back than we were tonight for their season 1 finale. Next Saturday one shot for Saturday Night One Shots is going to be another kind of cyberpunk game. It's going to be Shadowrun. This one will be supporting the Trevor Project. Then also next weekend, June 11th through 13th, is Onyx Path's online convention, as well as the Renegade and World of Darkness's Elysium Weekend of Darkness online convention and showcase. So you've got quite a bit of interesting stuff going on next weekend. Please do tune into some of it, all of it, support the community, support each other, love each other, donate to Lost and Found Youth. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to see if we can raid into somebody else in the community. I believe that Philly by Night is still going on over on Rolling These 20s. We'll see how they're doing. Thank you all. Welcome back to the Modern Knights. We'll see you in the future.
Bye.
Bye.